comes from R.L. Stevenson, one of the greatest writers. And it says, keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. If we want to lead, courage is key. We have to encourage others. We have to tell them that it is possible. We have to fill them with the spirit of bravery, and we have to be brave ourselves. Our fears will have to be kept away. Because once you spread fear in the group, it's not going anywhere. The group will not function well. So the key is to be courageous, share your courage with others, infect them with it so they come along. That's our business sense for the morning. R.L. Stevenson saying, keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. That's our business sense, brought to us by ADB. ADB truly are great and more. Coming up next is the newspaper review. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Why would you want to be caught up in this?
Madam, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, we are trying to resolve.
Why can't I use my Visa card here? What is that?
Let me get back to you shortly.
Or this?
What sort of embarrassment is this?
Sir, I apologize for the inconvenience.
I finished shopping and they're saying I can't use my Visa card to make payment.
What country are you in again?
Why?
Don't be caught up in this mess. Use ADB's Visa prepaid card wherever you are in the world because it's fast, safe, secure, and reliable for all your
Have you missed any business news this week?
Our appeal to the banks that it is not enough to show fat profits at the end of the year, publish them in the newspapers, and feel good.
Are you looking for a way to consume business news without getting lost in all of the technical language? Well, for our traders down here, all they care about is the fact that this could likely affect the cost of doing business.
We used to pay an average of $3,000 somewhere in November. Now it has shoot as much as $12,000 for a 40-footer container.
Business Weekly brings you all the top business stories of the week in an exciting manner.
Business Weekly, Sundays at 3 p.m. only on Citi TV.
Well, so, are you ready? Let's go.
Sounds of pride. For this one, catcher me.
of what people can expect on the 24th of December at Situation.
Maybe you.
I'll be there.
Papa will be there.
Oh, yes.
Chimband will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Abiana will be there. And Stone Boy.
Yeah.
Charlie, report to a Citi FM. No,
that's what's happening.
For high time we were in fact for a table at Situation.
December 24th.
Wait. I know that some people are in the car this morning. They are driving to work.
Yes.
In the midst of all the economic difficulties, in the home there's a problem. The man is looking to the other side. The woman is looking to the other side. Look, I have a solution for you.
Yes.
You know what to do?
What?
Call me on speaker right now. And just tell the people that, Charlie, you are coming for Situation.
That's right.
So that you will solve your problem.
That's right.
In fact, the problem will be solved from immediately after you have called me. And I'll tell you, greater things will happen in your life.
Amen.
Immediately from the 24th.
Thank you.
The 1st.
Thank you.
And the rest of the years ahead of you.
Thank you.
You will prosper.
Amen.
Peace will be in the home.
Amen.
Prosperity will come.
Amen.
The kids will come.
Amen.
They will grow.
Amen.
They will reach destinations around the world. And there will be impact on the lives of millions. Billions.
That's right.
Around the world.
Thank you.
It's all happening in the name of Situation.
Thank you.
So I know your situation. And I'm prophesying to you. Look into each other's face.
Amen.
If I tell him that you love him.
That's right.
If I tell her that you love him.
That's right.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Yeah. Organist, please play. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. Early in the morning. Early in the morning, I shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in three persons, blessed Trinity. That's a word for the morning. That's a word for the morning.
Situation.
So call 0205 973 973 0558 973 973. Book your table and prepare to jam and jam.
Thank you.
The Situation Outdoor Party, sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series Doritos and Lay's, and supported by Citi FM. And Ghana Weekend powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's get into the newspaper review. Let me welcome Kokui. Let me welcome Richard Delaska. Before we get into anything, though, the segment is proudly brought to us by Fidelity Bank. They've brought the Sikaboom promo. There's 100,000 CDs to be won. And the trick is very simple. Just go to any Fidelity Bank branch. If you don't have an account, open one. If you have one, deposit 300 CDs.
Okay.
And multiples of it. In your account every month during the promo period, and you could win.
100,000
CDs. That's it. You could win that.
What's the deadline? Like how
so
long?
The promo period is up until February 2023. So the draw should be there or thereabouts. So that's the news from Fidelity Bank. Fidelity Bank believe with us.
Very nice.
And the segment is also brought to us by Total Energies, 3-time winners of the Petroleum Company of the Year. And you don't win that award if you don't do well. That's coming from the CIMG. Now they are in the CIMG's Hall of Fame for petroleum, and they are saying that they will keep on doing all the good things they've been doing. Great services, great products that meet your needs and expectations. And and the segment is also brought to us by Kelchaco Toothpaste. Happy Smile. How are you guys on a Tuesday morning?
Charlie,
we're
happy in ourselves.
Yeah, because if you want to think about the haircut, if you want to
make ourselves happy. Charlie, that's the only way to go at this point.
When somebody talk for his song inside, say, come neku Jamaica, but now no, if you haircut we go to Jamaica. Let's go into the news.
Let's get into it, Sky. All right. Do you want me to start or you want to start?
You start.
Ladies first today? Okay. The Ghanaian Times is what I have in front of me. Domestic debt exchange program. Exclude pension funds. TUC urges government. Yes, this is serious, okay? President Kufuor and 48 others attend the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington. Earth tremors. How many people felt it yesterday?
People
You
said
did?
I was not correct.
I didn't feel anything.
I
but
didn't.
People say they felt it, like it shook them.
Yeah,
Okay, well, it hit parts of Accra and Kaswa. So, yeah. 20% of Ghanaian children suffer from dyslexia.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, maybe undiagnosed, right? And disaster at Ataniata. 11 children killed in road crash. How tragic.
Okay, let me take you to the Daily Graphic. Big story says debt exchange panacea for strong market, according to the finance minister. President Akufo-Addo attends U.S. Africa Leaders Summit, and workers won't participate in debt exchange program, according to the TUC.
Okay. The Find a newspaper. Exempt pension funds from debt exchange. Here it is again. Earth tremors. NADMO urges public to remain calm. Also, national development policies are not favoring northern Ghana. That's the Upper East Regional Minister speaking, Stephen Yakubu. Caprice robbery. 2 robbers shot dead and another arrested. Also, the Danquah Institute rallies public support for government to steer the country out of economic hardship. And Access Bank Ghana creates market opportunities for SMEs.
Let me take you to the Daily Guide. Big story on the front page says D-Day for Ato Essien. We'll know about his fate later today. Also, 10,000 Ghana cedi for NDC fax. The police are offering that. And also, Jomoro NDC case petitioner files for appeal.
On the Chronicle front page, EC and NIA are broke. Amakofi Boa alleges. I have confidence in new women and youth executives, says Dr. Kwabena Dufour. And the Danquah Institute pleading with us to help government rebound the economy. That's here as well. Now, the scripture is Psalm 101. Yes. Verse 7. It says, no one who practices deceit will dwell in my house. No one who speaks falsely will stand in my presence.
The Anchor says this morning, Pablo Brojas deadly thugs declared wanted. Please offer 10,000 Ghana cedis as a reward. Also, TUC threatens public sector shutdown if, we know about the if, and NLA's Good Causes Foundation laudable, according to the president.
On the New Crusading Guide front page, Akufo-Addo meets Joe Biden at U.S. Africa Leaders Summit. Also, Victor Smith shoots down Asiedu Nketiah. And the Enchi Omanhene resigns from the NDPC board after a disagreement with the Western North Regional Minister. And guess what? The Ghana Geological Survey Authority says Accra is to experience more earth tremors. So, Sky, get ready. More coming. Yeah.
The Graphic Business says debt exchange program. No takers yet. 7 days to go. Charlie, it looks like people don't want have a haircut. So, Charlie. Also on the front page, we are told that Graphic Access Bank SME Fair participants, patrons ask for more.
The Daily Ghanaian Guide front page. I will pay for the printing of all 275 constituency delegates' album. That's Alan Shermatin saying that. Earth tremor hits parts of Accra. It's here as well. And Barber and another sentenced to 32 years for robbery.
The Economic Times says BOG spends $5.6 billion US in debt servicing and others. And Deloitte wants Ghana to manage debt down to 60% of GDP. And 2023 budget approved amidst opposition to tax policies. What's happening online?
Okay, if you go online, citynewsroom.com says chaos at NDC polls at UCC wasn't over delegates list. That's according to Alex Sebefia. Dr. Dufour says, I'm ready to offer my expertise for free to solve Ghana's economic woes. The Geological Survey Authority calls for calm after multiple earth tremors in Accra. But a seismologist is saying be prepared for more tremors. Okay? And on the IMF side of things, it says IMF Ghana to announce staff level agreement today. So that's coming in on citynewsroom.com. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, Economic Enclave Project promises 195,000 agri jobs. Financial sector gets 15 billion cedis to address liquidity under debt exchange program. Dr. Dufour's free offer to government is here. Toby Apede's writing on our economic woes also here. And the IMF, like I said, the IMF story is on citynewsroom.com. If you go to citysportsonline.com, they also have other stories. Anna Walker is saying the Black Galaxy is not ready for tournaments. Gauka is telling the GFA, appoint a competent full-time Black Stars head coach. And on the Black Starlet side of things, Zito Lai Kingston to coach team, and Samuel Bedu has been appointed Black Satellites head coach. If you go to other portals, myjoyonline.com, Dr. Barnes says exempt TUC members' pension funds from debt exchange program. Earth tremors hit parts of Accra. Social media users react. And Mutala Mohammed says, I buy fuel worth 7,000 cedis to travel to Tamale and back.
Well, that's feasible.
Okay.
I can believe that.
7,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
You should be flying here. How much does it cost to fly to what do you call it, Tamale?
Okay, all right.
I think it will be cheaper. Honorable, I think you should consider that. Yeah.
Okay. But maybe on the ground he wants to be able to move. But I agree. And save more time too.
Save more time.
Put the car there and then fly there and then go and move around.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a quick one. If you go international, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried arrested in Bahamas, and Ukraine keeping Russian missiles as evidence, plus 6 dead in shootout at remote Australian property. Alrighty.
Okay, I think the earthquake it's not earthquake, tremor issue is quite big, and then of course what's happening to people's pension funds. So earth tremors hit parts of Accra and Kaswa. That's in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times this morning. An earth tremor yesterday rocked some parts of Accra, causing some residents to take cover, while others ran for their dear life like Sky, fearing a bigger earthquake was occurring. So apparently there were three tremors. The first occurred at 11:43 a.m. The second was at 11:49. The third was at 11:58. Now they were felt in the following areas: Kokomemle, Kanishi, Achimota, Weja, Bawe, Usu, Ablekuma Mahia, Malam, Newtown, Legon, Dansoman, Kaswa, Hacho, Kwashiman, Teshi, Nungwa, and McCarthy Hill. There were no casualties or damages recorded. People shared their experiences with the Ghanaian Times. Richard Eboa from Bawe said that he was in his room watching TV. All of a sudden, he felt the whole building and the ground shake. He said, I was so scared, I ran outside. Then I saw my neighbors also running outside. Queen Wachuku at Weja said that she was breastfeeding her 1-month-old daughter. She felt the ground shaking. She said, I had to run outside with my daughter since I didn't know what was happening. Now, Martin Opong Darlington at Malam also said he came from Kumasi, was going to buy food outside, and he realized the whole ground was shaking. He said, I started running because it was terrible. I've never experienced this before. I felt the building shake twice in East Legon. I thought it was a big truck passing by. That was from a resident whose name was not made known, but some people said, yeah, there was a tremor. The whole Heritage Tower shook. Meanwhile, the Geological Survey Authority said that it was working on the magnitude and epicenter of the 3 tremors, and they're encouraging the public to remain calm. They said it's a natural occurrence when it happens, and they said that, yes, this is the thing, what to do when a tremor hits. People said they were running. No, you're supposed to lay low under a table or chair, or walk to an open space. Walk, not run. Walk to an open space to avoid any structural failures when a tremor happens. If you're in a tall building or a bridge, it's advisable that you get on the ground floor, move to a safer place so you don't get affected. And there's some other tips we can share on that. Okay.
I think that's very important.
If you go to citynewsroom.com, the principal seismologist at the Ghana Geological Survey Authority, Nicholas Opoku, has warned residents of Accra to be prepared for more earth tremors in the future. According to him,
give us more chance.
Accra is in an earthquake zone, and it is normal for the region to experience such tremors from time to time. And he says, quote, this is not a new thing. We have been experiencing this from time to time. Even the most recent ones were in 2018, 2019, and 2020. What we have been saying all this while is that Accra and its environs is situated in the earthquake-prone zone. So from time to time, we'll be experiencing these minor earthquakes until such a time that a major one will occur. He said on City Prime News on Monday. So I remember sometime in 2018 or so, I interviewed Mr. Opoku at his office, and I remember there were tremors at that time. I remember I felt it at home. This was around Malam, at that area. So I went to interview him there.
The point is that when small ones like this happen,
Look,
You run.
if there's any from your no council, because please, we beg God, please. If there's anything the pastor
Charlie,
should be praying for, please, we beg.
cannot.
And then
Also, the authorities, please. We need to teach people what to do in circumstances
like
because
this. It's true.
Clearly, what I saw yesterday told me a lot about how we prepare for emergency
It's true.
situations like what happened yesterday. Imagine if it was huge.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been really
It would have been
disastrous. And then
chaos.
people just didn't care. When I was telling people that, look, something was happening, let's go out.
You
They were
felt
laughing
the
at
ground
me. They
shake.
said, this guy, is he okay?
Even this morning, they were laughing at you.
Yes.
Stop laughing
In
at Sky,
fact,
people.
Osofo even said that he was
Said,
going to pray with
Sky ran out to the office and got in his car and drove out. Can you imagine? And he was laughing at Sky. Don't laugh at Sky. Why are you laughing at Sky for running away from the drama?
Did you do that?
Yes, I got out of the building because I learned that in the UK.
Okay, did you go
In
to
case
your
of
car?
emergency, run out
I
quickly
get you, but
and
did
go
you-
to an open space.
But did you go to your car?
Oh yeah, I went to my car.
Did you drive off?
That was after. Yeah, because I was not sure. If there was anything. I want to spend my last moments with my kids and my wife. Workers say they won't participate in debt exchange. The TUC to government.
Yes.
Now, the Daily Graphic has the story, and it says it is written by Emmanuel Ebo-Hoxton. And it says the Trades Union Congress TUC has stated that its members will not participate in the debt exchange program announced by the government to deal with the country's economic crisis. Now, the 500,000 member union said workers would not be part of a program that will worsen their plight and further plunge them into unimaginable hardship. They said these things at a press conference yesterday addressed by Dr. Yauba, who is the Secretary General of the TUC. Again, if you go to the front page, there's a story there. The finance minister is quoted by Samuel Do Ablo. The pair are saying that the government's debt exchange program will help tidy up the bonds market and develop it into a world-class status. He goes on to say that, or he goes on to urge Ghanaians and all bondholders to support the government to chart the difficult path to improve the finances of the country. And it says currently there are over 60 different bonds and treasury notes with various coupon interest rates and maturity periods.
Well, talk about the IMF. This story on citynewsroom.com, very important story. And it says the IMF and Ghana are expected to announce a staff level agreement on a loan deal today, December 13, after several months of talks for a $3 billion bailout. The agreement will be made known at a joint press conference by the two parties. Now, this will pave way for the board of the fund to consider and possibly approve a program for the country. Ghana in July turned to the IMF for a $3 billion 3-year period bailout as the economy faced its worst crisis in the last 20 years. And the IMF, like I stated, they and the government will announce that. Now, Charles Robertson, who's global economist chief at Renaissance Capital in London, is saying that, well, Ghana's currency has struggled in a while, and it got more than 30% of, it was undervalued by more than 30% versus its 25-year history last week. So a rebound. Remember yesterday I mentioned the rebound. Charles Robertson is making a reference to that rebound, and he says that is not too surprising, of course, taking into consideration talks with the IMF and related matters.
Okay, well, the president and 48 others are attending the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington. So President Kufuor and 48 other African heads of state are there. They're converging in Washington, D.C., United States. It's the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit. It will be convened by the U.S. President Joe Biden. It's a 3-day event. It starts today, and it seeks to strengthen the long-standing U.S.-Africa partnership to pursue shared global priorities. Now, the maiden edition was convened by President Barack Obama in 2014. So it's been 8 years since the last one. It was created to get a closer collaboration between the country, that's the United States, and the continent, that is Africa. So the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, is leading the African Leaders Delegation for the summit. It's going to be attended by civil society, businesses and private sector, and young people from the continent. However, Mali, Sudan, Guinea, and Burkina Faso were not invited. Of course, we know why, because of the coup d'etat that's happened in their countries. Eritrea as well doesn't have diplomatic relations with the U.S., so they're also exempted, but the other countries are there. So the Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of African Affairs at the U.S. Department of State, Molly Fee, said that the U.S. will engage the suspended countries through different avenues. She says that they're engaging them separately to encourage them to return to democratic transition and rule, and so they're in a better position to have a strong partnership with those countries.
Okay, so let me take you to the Daily Guide. There's a story there, D-Day for Ato Asian, still on the financial sector. Jibril Abdul Razak, writing on page 3 of the paper, says that the fate of a founder and former chief executive officer of the defunct Capital Bank, William Ato Asian, hangs in the balance as an Accra High Court. It should actually be High Court, Accra, will today decide whether to accept the agreement between him and the Office of the Attorney General to repay the money he stole from the bank in 2015. Now, the court, presided over by Justice Eric Chebafo, would either accept the deal if the lawyer and the prosecution are able to convince the court that the case falls under Section 35 of the Courts Act, or go ahead to deliver his judgment in the case, which had traveled for a little over 3 years. Still in the courts, there's a story here that says Jomoro NDC case petitioner files appeal. Again, this one is from Emmanuel Opoku in Takrady. He says that Joshua Emua Kofi, the petitioner in the Jomoro parliamentary election case, has filed an appeal at the Court of Appeal, Cape Coast, after Secunde High Court had dismissed the initial application brought before it. And it goes on to give you details of how they are trying to take out the Jomoro Member of Parliament, Dorcas Afo Toffee.
Now, in the Ghanaian Times, very quickly, 20% of Ghanaian children suffer from dyslexia. That's 1 out of every 5 Ghanaian children, representing about 20%, is likely to suffer from dyslexia. It's a common learning disorder associated with children with normal vision and intelligence. Dyslexia is a learning disability characterized by difficulty in processing, producing, and using language. So it's a language-based learning disorder. It makes it extremely hard for its sufferers to express their language skills as others easily do. The condition tends to run in families. It appears to be linked to certain genes that affect how the brain processes reading and language. Some of the most common problems dyslexics experience is the inability to read, write, spell, and speak. Now, the founder of Africa Dyslexia Organization, Madam Rosalind Abigail Trenate, disclosed that many Ghanaians, including parents and teachers, are not aware of this learning condition or disability. Hence, they're unable to offer any form of support to dyslexics when necessary. She said dyslexic children of school-going age become faced with the challenge of not receiving the needed attention and assistance to do well in their learning. So they often go through emotional and mental health challenges in class, and they are labeled by teachers and classmates as dumb and lazy. There's a lot of education we need on this, because it's something we don't really focus on and know much about.
Okay, all right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you so much, Kokwi. That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News. Thank you.
We're sorry to interrupt this program for a breaking news story. Information reaching us is that the whole country has been thrown into a state of joy and excitement about the new look of Total Energies lubricants. Our correspondent Kwame Owusu is standing by to bring us the very latest.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss. Yeah. So we saw it. But they have held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan, there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu a so twati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school member died or whatever, so we have to go there and perform during the funeral, whatever. And then I was feeling thirsty, so there was but those days it's not like pure water or whatever. They sell the water in the bottle. Yeah, stuff like that. So there was a bottle there. I thought it was just a water. No, it was aquateshi, So I just took it. When I drank it, before I realized, Charlie. So what happened to me, I was like, Charlie, I'll never touch. So since then, I've never touched alcohol.
Okay, so you didn't drink alcohol, and you never smoked?
Smoke, no way. No.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Then who comes out of the car? Chachu Chikata and Kojo Chikata. And the Chachu told me that they have, Kojo was sick since the morning and he has been tortured and whatnot, and they have come for medical attention. Of course, naturally, I have to look after them, even though they are very close relatives. So I look at Kojo, I examine him, I notice that he's definitely been tortured. And there was blood, deep-seated blood in the ears. You can see that clearly.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints only.
Access Bank is bringing you the triple salary promo. Switch your salary account to Access Bank's Empower Salary account today and automatically enjoy free interest on payday loan, pick now, pay later loan, fly now, pay later loan, and other personal loans. Promo runs until April 30, 2023. Visit ghana.accessbankplc.com to get started. Access Bank, more than banking. Goyle is also bringing us the Citi Business News. They are making things easy. You can pay when you buy fuel with mobile money. You can also use your bank card or your Go card. Go Good Energy, Go DM. And the Citi Business News is also brought to us by Enterprise Life. Enterprise Life is your advantage and MTN. All right, let's get into the Citi Business News. Michael Obodo is here. He's got all the details.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, Enterprise Life, your advantage, Access Bank, modern banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, government expected to announce staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund later today. Also, Vehicle and Asset Dealers Association of Ghana, VADA, gives authorities up till tomorrow, Wednesday, 13th December 2022, to return 300 confiscated cars to its members on Friday. My name is Michael Obodu, and to details of our stories now, Ghana is expected to reach a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund by today, December 13, 2022. According to Reuters, even though the fund has not commented on the issue, 3 sources with knowledge of the ongoing talks have confirmed the agreement will make way for the board of the fund to negotiate and possibly agree a program for the country. Government has already begun restructuring the country's debt, a critical step in reaching a deal with the IMF to start a program. Commenting on the issue with Citi Business News, economist and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Isumi, said reaching a staff-level agreement with the IMF will further maintain the stability of the city.
If you look at the indicators, the macroeconomic indicators, the currency movement is one of the first that you see some movement, and then you see whether there will be something in terms of the risk spread that is on Ghana's bond that is being traded internationally. But I think the currency strengthening. Don't forget, since last week when the discussions about the debt restructuring came out, you've seen the city has been strengthening. So my sense is that once this is agreed, we see some activity on that front, and maybe the secondary trading of sovereign bonds. You might see some reduction in the spread.
That was economist and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Isumi. Meanwhile, director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, of the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Quao, is urging the government to frequently provide information on the proposed debt exchange program it announced recently to reduce the level of speculation and its effects on the investing community. According to him,
this remains a grey area with a high level of uncertainty, thus the need for regular updates and communication. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta earlier this month announced that domestic bonds from the beginning of this year will be exchanged for a set of 4 new bonds maturing in 2027, 2029, 2032 and 2037. In an interview with Citi Business News, Professor Peter Quao noted that the move will also enhance investor confidence.
I think the issue of communication is very critical. Government ought to communicate, engage with stakeholders, what exactly it is doing, the likely impact, the pain that we'll go through, but temporary. And then once we restore macro stability, the economy is back on track, they are likely to gain by investing their monies in the economy. Otherwise, if we don't do that and there is default, the economy goes down completely, the consequence will even be worse than what we are going to face now. So I think the issue of communication is very critical. And then once we communicate very well and we go through this program, whatever savings that are made, they have to be invested properly to restore the economy back to its previous state. And that will still bring back the confidence further. People can continue to engage with government and with the financial institutions.
That was the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quao. Now, on the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar lost 1 cedi The dollar is selling at 1 cedi 6 pesos and is selling at 11 cedis 56 pesos. The British pound lost 1 cedi 16 pesos and is selling at 14 cedis 14 pesos. The euro also lost 1 cedi 9 pesos and is selling at 12 cedis 14 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus, the dollar is selling at 12 cedis 85 pesos. The British pound is selling at 16 cedis and the euro is selling at 13 cedis 15 pesos. Away from that, the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Association of Ghana, VADAG, is giving authorities an ultimatum of up to Wednesday to have their confiscated cars returned to them or face their wrath. This comes after VADAG indicated that some 300 vehicles belonging to its members were last Friday seized through a joint operation by the Economic and Organized Crime (EOCO), the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Speaking at a press conference organized on the matter, the Administrative Secretary of VADAG, Alhaji Said Rahman, described the development as unfair and unfortunate while calling on the necessary authorities to ensure the vehicles are returned to their rightful owners.
They are taking the cars from 2018 to 2022. Each of the cars is not less than $20,000. The cars are ranged from $20,000 to $120,000. What kind of behavior is this? We have paid duty for it. And the government is saying, what? We need our cars. And that is what we are telling them. If that thing happens, we will resist. We will take our cars from whoever is using the car. That thing is supposed to be out. And we are sending a signal to the government. Now they are taking the cars from DVLA and they are taking the cars from ports and everything. If the government want that thing to be happen, we are all going to resist arrest and you see what will happen in the country. We don't want that. What kind of behavior is that? The government is intimidating us because he said we should go and buy new cars. How many people can you buy a new car? Can you afford it? What kind of behavior is that? We don't want any situation. That is the reason why we are sending a signal to the government. He should not try it because all the security agencies are aware about what is going on. We call DVLA, they are aware. So we don't want any situation. We are giving the government 3 days. If you didn't hear from the government, you will hear from us.
That was Administrative Secretary of the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Association of Ghana, VADAG, Alhaji Said Rahman. Moving on, the Food and Drugs Authority has cautioned operators of cold stores across the country to adhere to the freezing points of the foods they handle, irrespective of the prevailing high utility tariffs. According to the FDA, it has picked intelligence that some operators of these cold stores run a schedule for their refrigerating devices. This, the authority insists, is not appropriate in the preservation of food. Speaking to Citi Business News, the head of communications at the Food and Drugs Authority, Rhoda Appiah, urged consumers of poultry and other frozen foods to be cautious in the patronage of these products from such outlets.
Even with the poultry and other meat products, they are supposed to be stored in freezing conditions. These days, we have observed that because of an increase in electricity tariffs and all, some operators of cold stores put up their freezers in the night and sometimes for a longer period of time And within that time, these products can thaw. And getting these food, meat and meat products thawing and refreezing again over a long period of time will expose the products to microorganisms which cannot even be taken care of when you choose to cook them. They can be rendered what we call thermostable because of the toxins that some of these bacteria may invest into the product. So we need to be careful and be on the side of caution. When you buy these products, the moment you thaw it, it should be ready for use.
That was the head of communications at the Food and Drugs Authority, Rhoda Appiah. Let's now join Gideon Amoniche of Data Bank for the latest updates on the bonds market.
Last week, investor demand for treasury bills surged as the Ghanaian Treasury received total bids worth 3.16 billion Ghana cedis at the auction for the 91-day to the 364-day bills. The government accepted 2.14 billion Ghana cedis, exceeding the auction target by 32%, and the refinancing obligation by 45%. At the close of the auction, the 91-day yield lost 61 basis points to 35.57%, while the 102-day yield shared 20 basis points to 36.53%. The 364-day yield gained 29 basis points to 36.19%. Trading on the Ghana fixed income market amounted to 3.07 billion Ghana cedis. The Data Bank Bond Index closed last week flat with a year-to-date loss of 22.07%.
That was Gideon Amoniche of Data Bank. And that does it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, Enterprise Life Your Advantage, Access Bank More Than Banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. Have a good business day. And as always, please stay safe.
Hi. Have you missed any business
what
news
a nice move towards our appeal to the banks. That it is not enough to show fat profits at the end of the year, publish them in the newspapers, and feel good.
Are you looking for a way to consume business news without getting lost in all of the technical language? Well, for our traders down here, all they care about is the fact that this could likely affect the cost of doing business.
We used to pay an average of 3,000 somewhere in November. Now it has shoot as much as $12,000 for a 40-footer container.
Business Weekly brings you all the top business stories of the week in an exciting manner.
Business Weekly, Sundays at 3 p.m. only on Citi TV.
Well, so, are you ready? Let's go.
9:13. You're still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Coming up next is Kickoff. All the latest from the world of sport brought to us by Lechero. As a directive from the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana card is now the only accepted ID for all financial transactions. So please go and get your records updated. Visit any Lechero branch near you to update your records with your Ghana card so you are served faster and better. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0574065958 or call 0302-208-333. Lechero, let's improve lives. The World Cup semi-finals are upon us. There's one today and another one on Wednesday. That and many other things happening. Benjamin Nketiah is ready. It's time for Kickoff.
Let's get into the headlines. And Argentina take on Croatia tonight in the first of the World Cup semi-finals. GFA tasked by Gauka to appoint full-time competent head coach for the Black Stars. And in the NBA, there were wins for the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, and the Brooklyn Nets. Let's get into the World Cup action. Argentina take on Croatia later tonight. And Argentina head coach is Lionel Scaloni. He believes that they will have to be at their very best to make progress to the next round of the competition.
Bueno, esperamos un partido muy difícil contra un equipo.
We expect a tough match. It's against a really good team. They play as a team. They are a good squad with great players. They're going to make things challenging for us. I don't think that we should go into comparisons about the last World Cup. Every game is different.
Bueno, yo creo que esto nuevo.
To reach 8, 9, 10 minutes of at a time is something new, and this creates some insecurity, especially for the team that is winning. You think that the match is over, and then suddenly you can see the goal. In the Croatia versus Brazil match, Brazil could have even won the match in the last few minutes of at a time. It will be part of the upcoming matches. We need to work on that.
Lionel Scaloni is head coach of Argentina. Let's get to the camp of Croatia. Let's hear from head coach Zlatko Dalic and veteran winger Ivan Perisic. They have been sharing their thoughts on the team's readiness for the task ahead.
We are playing the great Argentina, a terrific team led by Lionel Messi. They are highly motivated, but they're under greater pressure than Croatia at this particular moment in time. We have analyzed our opponent. We know how they play. We know where they want to take the game, and we're preparing for them. I'm an optimist by nature. I do trust my players. They have demonstrated a high level of quality, strength of character, and they wouldn't have made it to the semi-finals without that. It's a wonderful feeling to be part of this competition and to be part of the semi-finals. And just like any sportsman, we wish to go into the final, and we'll do our best. As the coach said, Argentina is a major team, and they give 100%. It's difficult to compare this to the 2018 semi-final against England, but I think it's going to be a similar match because England also had a really good squad. But this depends on us, and if we play the right way, like we did against Brazil, then everything is possible.
So you heard Zlatko Dalic and Ivan Perisic speaking their stage set for a big World Cup semi-final between Argentina and Croatia. Let's get to some more World Cup related stuff. And two-time World Cup winner Ronaldo Nazario de Lima, El Phenomenon they call him, he believes that Neymar will continue to play for Brazil despite the forward saying he was unsure if he would feature for the national team again. Neymar's comments come after Brazil were eliminated from the ongoing World Cup following defeat to Croatia in the quarterfinals. However, Brazil legend Ronaldo says Neymar is upset about the loss and insists that he will come back stronger.
Neymar is very upset with the result of the World Cup for Brazil national team. He's not that he's feeling that way for now, but I'm also sure that he will come back stronger and continue to play with the national team. He's still young, 31 years old. I think he can play the next World Cup. I'm very happy that he showed the world a commitment for the last 6 months for the Brazil national team. He behaved himself, he take care of himself, and he played a good match, a first match. He got a very strong tackle on his ankle. He made a huge sacrifice to play against with the national team. He played very good the last match. I think he's very important for us. So I hope that gets well soon and back strong with in the football world, like in PSG and Brazil national team.
So you heard Ronaldo Nazario de Lima speaking there about Neymar's future with the Brazil national team. Let's get to some other news. In the Ghana League Clubs Association, GALCA has tasked the Ghana Football Association to replace Otuado with a competent full-time Black Stars head coach. The 47-year-old had to juggle between the national team job and his player scout position at German Bundesliga side Borussia Dortmund. Otuado resigned from the Black Stars job following Ghana's group stage exit at the ongoing World Cup. City Sports' Evans Ofochumanso has more on the GALCA statement.
The Ghana League Clubs Association deeply regrets the Black Stars' failure to progress beyond the group stage in the World Cup. GALCA shares the pain and disappointment of Ghanaians, but takes solace in the fact that we have a young team that can be nurtured into greatness in future. It is GALCA's expectation that the exits of the Black Stars will not dampen the spirit of the Black Galaxies, but will rather serve as a good lesson for them to learn from and perform at the optimum level. We hope a competent full-time coach will be appointed to mold this young team into a winsome side that can rule Africa and make an enviable impact at the world stage. GALCA therefore urges government not to be distraught with the team, but continue to offer the necessary support that will keep the team well.
Evan Tufochumanto of City Sports coming through there with excerpts of that GALCA statement. Let's get to some other stuff. And General Secretary for the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, Anthony Bafo, has reviewed a partnership with the Johan Cruyff Institute in Spain to educate Ghanaian players. Now, this partnership is part of the PFAG's plan to ensure alternative livelihood for players after their careers. Now, the association had earlier linked up with the GFA to create a Legends Fund for past footballers. Here's Anthony Bafo speaking to City Sports on these initiatives.
That's what we stand for, and that's what we want to support, especially the former players with. It's a very good idea to have a Legend Fund together with the PFAG Foundation. I think we can help a lot of players getting out of problems, helping them also when they are facing medical or psychological problems. But apart from that, we also have an agreement with the Johan Cruyff Institute for players to further their education, not when they stop playing. Whilst they are playing, they can study online. If you can be on Instagram for 1 hour, 2 hours, you can also study. So they can study sports management, event management, data analysis, the business of football, etc. And this is something I'm really looking forward to.
General Secretary for the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, Anthony Bafo, speaking there. Let's move on to some club news. And Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp has described Luis Diaz's latest injury setback as a smash in the face for the Reds. Diaz picked up an injury during Liverpool's loss to Arsenal in October, but was expected to return following the World Cup. He was with the Liverpool squad in Dubai working on preparations for the resumption of the Premier League campaign, but he suffered a setback in training last week that will require knee surgery.
He's obviously not in the best possible place. It was clear it's a big disappointment for all of us, for him as well. It was a non-situation in training, honestly. It was pretty much nothing. And felt something, didn't feel a lot next day, but we wanted to be really cautious and said, okay, come on, let's have a briefer look. And yeah, then the news came and was a proper smash in the face. But
So Luis Diaz is expected to be out for close to 12 weeks following this particular surgery. So big setback for Liverpool. Let's finish off with some basketball from the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks, they were up against the OKC Thunder, and it was the Mavericks defending home court, winning 121-114. The Miami Heat picked up a win on the road against the Indiana Pacers. The Brooklyn Nets managed to beat the Wizards also on the road. Kevin Durant returning to play in his home city. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Hawks. The Cavs continue to struggle a bit, this time losing to the San Antonio Spurs, and then Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons were on show when the Trailblazers beat the Timberwolves. The Boston Celtics also lost on the road to the Los Angeles Clippers. 113-93 is how that one played out. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Kickoff was brought to us by Lesheho. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Things often start small. No matter where you are now, the most important decision you will make today is knowing where you'll be tomorrow. All you have to do is take the next step, believe in your journey, and go with passion. Because when you go with passion, you go big. You explore the possibilities. You create the tomorrow of your dreams. So come along and let's go big with our passion. Apply for a loan now and power your ambitions. Get plugged in. Let's go big. Powered by Lesieho.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints. Yes.
Oh, at some point, well, we are taking the step. Unfortunately, he was dragging the country into an abyss.
Yeah.
So we saw it. But they have held power, the guns and so forth. Who were we to? We just watched. But by, I believe, 74-5, the country was seeing through him. That this man was a total misfit.
But he was a happy man.
But because in Akan, there's a proverb. It's a kwasia na no so nsu so twati.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
Lincoln, we have one of our, school members.
So sending your thoughts and comments on 0549986996. Tuesday the 13th of December. Few birthday messages coming in.
I need someone to call my own. I need someone to call my own.
This one says happy birthday to the adorable Marian Owusu, alias Ohiniye Papebi of the NPA head office, from all your colleagues and friends. Happy birthday to the woman that brings sunshine to my life, my dear, caring, and loving wife, Teresa Amwate of APSA. This message is coming from Mr. T. This one says, Gifty Mamle Akwete Kuma. Today is your birthday. The message is, have a blast. May your heart always rejoice because you have the welfare of others in mind. This one says a super fantastic birthday to Vanessa Lady Bassa, popularly known as Bassa Vanity, of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority Airport.
I don't wanna wake up with a text message on the phone. Yeah, I just wanna wake up.
A few more coming in. This one says, I think it's Patricia's birthday. It says you want us to wish you a happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday to you, Patricia. Enjoy your day and wish you the very best.
I want someone I can call my own, my own. I need someone I can call my own. I want someone I can call my own to hold me down.
7:33. But yesterday morning, we'll get into what happened yesterday morning. But make life simple on the go. Pay the easy way with the Zenith card online or in-store. You can pay for your Facebook ads, Netflix, iTunes, Amazon subscription, and all of that. Think payments, think Zenith. Zenith Bank in your best interest. Are you a Ghanaian or an African-owned business into footwear, clothing, makeup, skincare, and other beauty products? The second edition of the Diaspora Connect is here to link your business with prospective buyers across the globe. Activities include product photo shoot, customer service, and shipping presentation, among others. It's happening on the 17th of December at the Ghana Wildlife Society in Accra from 9 a.m. Seize this opportunity by participating in the Shop Ghana Beauty Supply Initiative. Now, the average flight from Accra, Ghana to Dakar, Senegal is a little over 3 hours. So why should it take you an entire day to travel between two destinations due to long transit hours? Beginning today, Kenya Airways, voted Africa's leading airline at the World Travel Awards, is offering a perfect solution. Fly direct from Accra to Dakar and vice versa every Monday and Wednesday to enjoy the superior service of Kenya Airways in addition to the new comfort and convenience the new flights offer. Kenya Airways, the pride of Africa.
This route, the way it makes sense. I don't know why it took so long for them to, but we thank Kenya Airways. We can do Accra to Dakar direct.
Oh, nice.
We thank Kenya Airways.
Accra to Dakar direct. How many West African countries can you fly to directly from Accra? I think apart from Lagos and Abuja.
You can do Abidjan.
You can do Abidjan.
Yeah, you can do Abidjan.
You can't do Ouagadougou.
But it's not cheap.
It's not cheap at all.
That's
I mean,
the
the last
thing.
time I tried,
They're not
you
cheap
have to
at
come
all.
from somewhere in Europe. So, for instance, if you're France Air.
Can you do Abidjan to Ouagadougou? I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to Ouagadougou, you have to do Abidjan.
But the fares are the issue. They're really expensive.
Isn't there a trot type of thing? So you can do like Go to
Aloski. You want to?
It's like so maybe Dakar to Freetown to Conakry to Monrovia to Abidjan, Abidjan to Accra to Lomé.
Let me tell you my trot from Equatorial Guinea to Accra. So Equatorial Guinea to DRC. DRC to I think we did Equatorial Guinea to DRC to Cameroon.
You are coming to Ghana.
I was coming to Ghana. Yaoundé to Lomé.
Are you serious?
Hey, no, Yaoundé to Lagos. Lagos to Lomé.
No, hold on. Where is the Equatorial Guinea? Where is the Equatorial Guinea? Is it in West Africa?
Yes.
It's in the Gulf of Guinea.
Yeah,
so you did that to DRC.
Yeah. No, when we're going
the DRC to where?
Straight up
to Yaoundé.
Yes.
Then Yaoundé, Cameroon to Lagos. Then Lagos to Lomé.
Yes.
I was sick to get Lagos to Accra.
I was sick by the time. This was the flight I was on.
Which airline was
I don't want to mention their name. They have improved their services now.
But you know the truth though is that the movement is a function of exchange and trade. So if you don't trade anything, you can't go anywhere. So because our economies are very similar, we have been diversified. It doesn't make economic sense to have an airport or a flight route. Because flight routes have to be milked to make money. Yeah. It's very expensive to run airlines. So if you don't do you have any friend in Conakry? Do you go and do anything in Guinea? So if for example, Ghanaian traders go to Guinea for say leather, and Guinea people come to Accra for cassava, then there's a trade route.
Yeah.
So if you want to enhance trade is a function. Transport is a function of trade and movement.
But what about
for tourism?
Tourism.
Yeah,
because in Europe, for instance, mainland Europe, most people travel for tourism.
Yeah, but what are you going to do in Guinea?
That's my point. That we haven't developed our tourism potential.
That's my point.
If I could go, I would go.
Trade is more. I feel trade is more substantive. Like for example, Ghanaians go to Niger. They go and bring
things by road.
Yes.
Yeah, by road.
Yes. So it's more substantive to go by trade, to go for trade than to say tourism.
Yeah.
Even Kenya, which is so different from us. How many Ghanaians go to Kenya or South Africa or Namibia for that matter?
We
go for tourism.
For tourism.
I think the answer lies in tourism is part of its diversification. So you can say for East Africa you go for tourism. For Northern Nigeria you go for their leather to do your belt. For Sierra Leone you go for whatever. But the truth is that we all do that. We all produce things. We export it to road through the coast to Europe and America and to China.
Strictly speaking,
we don't do anything to buy.
Strictly speaking, I mean, tourism is also trade. If you look at the WTO agreements that we have, and then also if you look closely at the AFTA policy, tourism is also, because it falls under services you provide and all of that. What Bernard is saying is true, except that, we would rather go to Dubai to watch an artificial, waterfall or stand in front of Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, as opposed to going to Kenya to see, giraffe or see something more interesting in the valley. You see, things like that, they seem to drive us, so we can post a photograph and say, oh, we were at the Burj Khalifa, as opposed to going to see something natural.
I went to see Mount Gemi, Afajato.
Exactly.
I went to Adaklu Mountain, which is why for me things like caravan are important, because Sky, for me, I always look forward to traveling around the country. And I'm an ambassador for the Volta region when it comes to tourism. Tourism is one of the sectors that can give so much employment. And I feel one of the things you need to let our policymakers know is, don't build me an airport. Develop a tourism ecosystem. Okay, the airport will call for itself. Do you get me? So you don't start from saying, I've given you an airport to vote for me. What you start by saying is that we've created incentive for you to go and visit the Volta region or the central region so often that you need road transport is not enough. Right? But what we tend to have here is that we build big projects to get votes, sometimes not backed by any proper research. Right? Because it's easy to do it. It's difficult to say, let's have a 7-year plan to develop the Volta region as the tourism hub of West Africa. It will take a lot of time and commitment and effort. Nobody wants to do that because it doesn't help somebody to get votes. And as long as we keep doing that, we remain underdeveloped. Because for all the countries that you are referring to, Dubai, they didn't just get up and say, let's build a Burj Khalifa, let's build it. No. Somebody came up with a vision, and the vision was tied to a plan, and the plan was executed with a lot of discipline, which led to all the things. Now, all of us are going to Dubai. Look at Qatar. People are going to China. You are not going to any West African country because they are all behaving like us. We don't plan any proper thing, and that's why we are struggling. So I feel that this conversation about tourism and airlines, complaining about airlines, nobody's going to develop your airline routes for you. Air France will not come and say, let me do connect. You have to do it yourself. And if you don't create the impetus to move between communities, if you don't diversify your economies, and you keep producing cocoa and selling it raw, using cocoa syndicated loan, and you clap for yourself, you are just foolish.
Yeah, but also, that is great, but there's also something that we ourselves will also have to do. I mean, some of these expenses that we make just to go and see the Burj Khalifa, for instance. I mean, why can you not go to Paga, for instance, to go and see what happens there? Why don't you want to go to the Molly National Park? You ask little kids today, where do they want to go for a holiday? And they are mentioning all these beautiful, grandiose ideas. I want to go Disney Island. These are all.
But somebody is promoting it.
Exactly.
So the reason why we come on air and say, let's go to caravan is that if we don't paint pictures in people's minds, they will not demand it. That child, by the time he gets to GIS and he has disposable income at 18, wants to go to Burj Khalifa because every time he puts on DSTV, he sees it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So if he listens to this radio station, you should hear that in March, we can travel across the country and there are things you can see that will enhance your life and it is good.
Sure.
Number 2, he should have an experience that when he goes, the toilet flashes actually. And that the road is not bad. You can't preach. If somebody has disposable income, you don't preach to them and say, hey, in the name of Jesus, tourism. You don't do that. What you do is that you make my life easy, man. Why should somebody, you are going to Babi Fiama Monkey Sanctuary. You leave Echima, you are driving, the road is like you are going to hell. Why should I go there? If we want to make an economic case for tourism, make it easy to get there. Okay? Make it, and give me something to do there beyond simply going to look at the waterfall. I go to Kintampo Falls. Give me paraphernalia. Give me an experience.
There's
give me
nothing
an
else to do.
Don't just say drive there. I meet some short guy. He's asking me for money. What are you talking about? Communities say they want to develop tourism. They won't release the tourism facility for the tourist authority to help them. They are dying in their socks. Then they get up and say they are poor. Why will you not be poor? If you sit down with some 2x4 tourist guide be speaking some Oluman Pompe English, that some man became to a friend saying, what's the name of that voice clip you've been playing? Bosomchi, something. Meanwhile, somebody would use Bosomchi to do a whole experience. Yes. You can reenact all the things you want to say. It takes money and time and vision. We just want to remain in our own. Go to the tourist side. You see some short guy, wear a singlet with Coca-Cola in front of it. They say he's a tourist guy. That I should leave US with disposable income and travel to kind of listen to this thing. And you call it tourism? You must be joking.
Sky, the other thing is that
if we don't get serious,
a lot of our tourists, they're not family friendly. And a lot of people, you want to travel with your kids, right? Maybe it's difficult to just have an adult vacation. So How many of our tourist sites are conducive for that? When you have young children, where you have, Bernard mentioned already, restrooms that actually are, suitable, accommodation that is safe and secure, that's decent. The whole experience built around it. Stuff for the kids to do as well. It's a big problem. And souvenir shops we don't have.
Yeah.
You will leave the Larabanga Mosque with nothing. You can't even buy souvenirs. Like, why?
You can't buy T-shirts.
Can't buy anything. There's nothing.
The thing is
It's just there.
Then you go and call some area guy. You come and tell you. Yeah. You see, so I'm saying that we are not ready to develop because even the people we put in charge of the ministries, what mandate do we give them? What task do we give them? Meanwhile, when we did, and for me, I'm talking passionately like this for 2 reasons. July 2021, I was part of 5 people who were supposed to promote tourism in the Volta region. So we moved across the region. Then I went on a caravan for the second time. Look, it is a no-brainer for a country that doesn't have a lot of resources. The amount of money the East Africans make from tourism, even go to the Mole National Park, they are severely under-resourced. They are severely under-resourced, and we haven't invested in even the animals properly. That people to fly from Accra to Tamale, drive to Mole, stay at Zena Lodge. Give me an experience that can compete with what they do at Masai Mara or whatever they call it in Kenya. We don't do that. So a lot of tourism dollars are not coming in. Meanwhile, every tourist center has about 7 or 8 people you can employ.
That's true.
So we will go and have meetings with global powers to discuss all kinds of issues. And we come back. The basic things you should do for yourself. No country is coming to develop a tourism for you. There's no IMF or aid program that will tell you that if you develop tourism, jobs stay. When I went to the Mole National Park, all the guys working on the park, they live in and around the area. Some have been working there for 30 years. Some of them have lived on that park for almost 20 years. Their families go to school there. It's local. It has local content already. You don't go and bring people to come and mine your oil and then now say, let's do a local content conference to do. No, local content is tourism. So, Sky, for me, this complaint Godfred had, and African countries, we all think very similar. When we get money, we go to Europe to go and chop it. The colonialists left our continent as a place to take things from. When the politicians took over, they also do the same thing. They don't even invest their money here. They take the money and go and hide it. So I'll be there. Now somebody will call your phone from Dubai that come and buy some property. Why should I go and buy something for what?
Investment property.
So they will save their money in foreign banks, take their children to foreign hospitals, take their children to foreign schools, eat foreign food. But when they die, they can't bury them here.
Somebody says that Africa is a graveyard for the black man.
So for me, this transport thing is a consequence of lack of economic diversification and integration, which will not be solved by shouting or sentimentalism. Airlines, I ask anybody who's done an airline before, go and ask Toby Afede. Airline is tough business. So if you're not, why should I put an airport? How many people are going to Ho by air? Even the wholesale, are they going?
There you go. It's a question of the science around the projects themselves. I mean, on that note, let me say that recently I went to the National Museum. The refurbished National Museum. I think, look, honestly, things there are modest. As in, look, I don't. It's not like not a grandiose place you go on earth. But when I went there, what I saw, I had an experience.
So I should go.
Oh, Bernard, in fact, when we finish the show, we can even go there.
Next week.
Yeah, that's right. Because I got a tour done for me.
Okay.
And I was able to trace the history of Ghana, prehistoric times. I mean, what was happening previously before history began.
Okay. How much did you pay?
It was a token. I think about, how much? Do I even remember how much?
Were there many people there?
Plenty.
Oh, nice. When was this?
This was on the holiday, the recent holiday. When was it?
Farmers Day.
The Farmers Day holiday.
So a lot of people there?
Plenty. School kids from... Bernard, in fact, we should take the kids. I was really impressed.
It means they are doing something right.
Yeah, and you see, the officials in charge seem to know a lot about what to do. But it appears to me that the difficulty is how to invest to make it stand out. Because you go there, for instance, the cutlasses, or not cutlasses, the stones that were used previously. in should I use the term? Some of them were excavated from the northern part of the country. And they are displayed there. You see pottery, excavated. you can see the Malian Empire, the Ghana Empire of those times, Songhai,
all those things are there.
Yes.
Mansa Musa.
In fact, some of the slave raiders who attacked parts of the north,
Samori and Babatu.
Charlie, when they seized them, the agbada or the smock they were wearing with all the amulets, exactly,
they were seized.
They seized them and they are displayed there. In fact, I think that it would be a great exercise if you were to begin the caravan by just going through to see some of these.
Like when we start from Accra, like usually we go to Accra Central, look at the lighthouse. We should do. Usually we start from Accra Tourism Center. So you think we should pass through the...
Yeah, the museum. It's been refurbished. It's not like some big thing you go and see the London Museum. It will give you enough idea of how Ghana developed over time. And I was really impressed. And I want to appeal to the folks in charge of public affairs. Look.
Let's release more money for them.
Yes, let's release a lot more money for them to... Look, I went there, Nkrumah's car that he used.
It's still there.
The car is there. For some reason, it's left there in the open. Under some shade be. Ideally, that car should be in a glass somewhere. Top shape, properly done. If you have to take it somewhere, Abusoka or somebody to properly deal with it, and you bring it back. In fact, the one Kufuor even used, the one we were told that Gaddafi also gave it to him, blah blah blah.
It's also there.
Rawlings or whatever it is. It's also there.
Maybe we'll consider this. So maybe around that we are here. Let me do a gamma list. You can register for the caravan. It's March. It's the first week of, I think it's 4th March to 12th March or so. I think the number is our regular 0205 973 973. Call and book your seat for the heritage camp. But we're basically just saying that we didn't plan to discuss this. We're just saying that the poor transport infrastructure is a consequence of low economic activity, no economic integration, no business movement, and all of that. So let's work on those. Let's work on those.
My friend he did. He took the airline that I was. Because he said he had an experience that beats my record.
He went from where to where?
He says he clocked 12 hours from Conakry, Freetown.
Guinea.
Hey, 12 hours.
He needed to fly from Guinea to Sierra Leone.
Conakry, Abidjan, Lomé, Accra, Monrovia, Freetown.
Oh, wow.
But Guinea is neighbor to. So why didn't he drive?
But it's not even to go to Benin. You need to fly to Ivory Coast first before you come to Benin. You can't go to Benin direct by air. Unless it's the Air Force.
Wait, so he wanted to go from Conakry to Freetown. Yeah. And he came first to Accra.
Yeah, Lomé. So then Conakry, Abidjan, Lomé, Accra, Monrovia, Freetown.
The other thing, though, is that, to be fair, a lot of Francophone countries have more movement among themselves. So I think, for example, there will be a lot of flights from this Lomé place or Abidjan to any of these places. Yeah. Ghana, Lagos is more the route. So you got a lot of Accra, Abuja, Accra. It probably should even have Kumasi, Abuja. Yes, so language plays a huge part. And I don't think we have a problem. If you have Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Gambia as an English speaking, we should be able to fly. That's big enough.
Yeah, but
that's big enough.
The prices.
But airline is tough, eh? You know, I did some study on airline when I did my MBA. Like, you have to be ruthlessly efficient.
Yep.
Which is why things like Ryanair and these airlines, which are low frills, do well. Because at the end of the day, in Europe, you can travel for less than $200.
Yes.
Because you want to get to a destination. You don't
need
pay for anything on a flight. Yeah. Maybe we should have no frills flights in Accra as well, where you can just sit on a plane and get to your destination.
There already no frills though.
There's nothing.
What have you flown?
You're drinking water and a small pack of crackers.
Crackers full. You're lucky if you get it.
But I just wanted to conclude this segment
from where? Which
domestic? Saying that some economic priorities are a matter of course, but some economic priorities are enablers.
Yeah.
So adding value to your exports is a matter of course. But tourism is such a powerful enabler that if you leave it undone, looking at the structure of your economy, you will only have yourself to blame.
That's true.
So value addition to exports or raw materials, a lot of people do it. The Asians have perfected it. It may take us a very long time to get to the level of efficiency of the Chinese in adding value. I always use my furniture example. But Charlie, Ghana's unique placement in West Africa, yesterday there was a story about NAFAC on the graphic front page after 60 years. Look, I think one of the best things this government has done is the year of the return. The thing they did with the 2019. 2019 was a major year for Ghana. I emceed one of the diaspora conferences, Sky. There are people in the Western world who are of African descent who want to come and invest here. Of course, our economic fundamentals have thrown a lot of that out of the window. But I'm sure when things normalize, there's a lot of diasporan interest in Ghana. Some for tourism, some for investment. And I feel Ghana's placement within West Africa, even in Africa, is unique. We are respected, we are loved. If we can improve our infrastructure, take our tourism seriously, we got more money from this thing, private remittance, than we got from FDI.
That's true.
Let me make it stark for you. There's a whole office called DIPC trying to get FDI. With all the efforts, they got about 3.5 billion in 2020.
Remittances.
Private remittances, what your uncle will send, what Godfrey's father will send. It was the same amount with no office trying to mobilize any money. So imagine if we said let's have a dimension of development called diaspora relations. See the kind of thing Jacob Cheblante was doing.
Yeah.
All right, Sky. When I went to the Slave River at Asin Manso, when you get there and you look at a number of people of Ghanaian descent from the US who have come to write their names on that wall,
Yes, please.
you will weep. Like, it's so, the thing is so powerful. You see a student, 19 years old. I had to do this for my great grandfather, who a lot of them don't even have any closure. I think it's Jake who built that place or sort of redesigned it. You know, I haven't seen any concerted effort to say, let's create an experience
out of that
for people to make it on their bucket list that anybody of African descent, whether they are in Guyana, they are in Jamaica, they are in US, for the way we would have marketed that as a road show. Charlie, I think there are dollars to be gotten.
Oh, plenty.
It's a lot of dollars to be
It's
gotten.
a whole experience. We know how the slave trade took place. All you do is you can start from there, the slave river where they maybe had their last bath. They can have a whole route where you call it, the you know when you get to the castle, there's that door that says door of no return. So you take them through that path. They can reenact it. They can actually take the same journey, what the slaves may have gone through, take them through all of that, put them in the dungeon there. It's mind-boggling to think that the experiential tourism hasn't become our bread and butter, because roots tourism is the best thing we have to sell, probably.
Imagine getting to Amina Castle.
Yes.
Then there are various versions of the book Roots by Alex Haley, right? Then you have, for example, a VR, virtual reality reenactment of what actually happened.
Exactly.
With a narrator using someone like Fritz Barker's voice. Then there are a series of movies like on Cape Coast, Elmina, where people within that month of March, when we go, can go and watch those movies. There'll be lectures.
Yes.
And this is the kind of thing that PANAFest and NAFAC and all those things
supposed to be doing.
But for some reason, we do it and then we go back.
Have you been to the Museum of African American History in in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, my God.
Listen.
Nathan, when you go on these U.S. exchange programs, one of the things you realize is that one of the reasons why U.S. does well is that they want to own the history. There's museum for everything.
Everything.
There's museum for everything.
I mean, the Smithsonian has many museums.
There's a news museum.
Natural History Museum. Space Museum.
There's museum for everything. And when you go, you will spend money.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the books I bought there, I didn't plan to buy them. But after they tell you what they... the first... The war in Yugoslavia, the pickup that had the first bullet, the journalist who was sitting in the pickup, they put a picture there, they show you the bullet hole, you take a picture next to it, then the history of news. They make you feel proud of your journey as a journalist. By the time you meet the Pulitzer winner, you are so enamored because they've already prepared your mind. And then you go to the Lincoln Memorial or you go to the Martin Luther King Memorial. I mean, if you look at Nkrumah's statue in the Pantheon of Greats, there should be a whole
museum dedicated to that.
Kwame Nkrumah should be.
We are facing the
others.
There should be a whole Nkrumah
tour. So we are saying that sometimes when we talk about development, it's not just debt exchange, macroeconomic, interest rate. It's just simple things like
soft issues.
Yes,
low-hanging fruit.
Because there's even the countries that we think are hard. He will tell you, like China and those, even Korea. Look, do you know the number of Americans who now watch Korean soap operas?
Yeah.
Do you know how?
In here in Ghana,
do you know how much Korea? Do you know how much Korea has invested? So apart from Hyundai and Kia,
and Samsung,
and apart from Sun
and Samsung,
there are Korean soaps that are penetrating even Western markets because somebody says it's not just about the hardcore cars. Because if I want to, because to feel good about a hardcore product, there must be a softer side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even what the Nigerians are doing in Nollywood, now when pastors are preaching, my pastor usually make reference to, said this one is like a Nigerian movie.
Wow.
He keeps saying this thing or this, like, because it's like they've done it so repeatedly that you know that this is how we behave. Yeah. It didn't happen by accident. We blame Nigeria for being whatever it is. They say Nigeria is a dysfunctional separate Nigeria, but at least they have the sense enough to know that they have to own their own cultural heritage. They have to invest in the arts. They have to spend money to do things like movies, stories, and we don't do jack.
We did Nafaka 60 over the week.
We don't do jack. So please, we are begging Minister of Tourism, Ghana Tourist Authority, Akwesi Agyeman and co. Please.
These are the areas.
Your industry may not get the biggest budget, but I'm telling you,
make the most of it.
You are very important to our future. So please don't sleep on the job. Why?
I watched the Woman King. You know, this
came with its own controversy.
I agree with that. You know, that there are some inaccuracies here and there, but of course, I mean, fiction mixed with reality. And you see, I could relate to agriculture on the global stage.
Yes, please.
You understand? When they talk about, you know, the culture of our people in prehistoric times or even the beginning of history, how slaves were captured, how the Evers in those times, the Fawn, you know, all these people fought back. And the kinds of bravery, you know, in some of the songs they sang, I could relate to it.
And because of all the things we've been doing online, your Apevia challenge and things, I think it gave you a very good.
Yeah, that's right. And I at a point, I was shedding tears. You know, these are stories that we can sell. We have Africa has a market of 1.4 billion people.
Yeah. Let me say good morning to two people. Alex Nketia is the head of Ghana Tourist Authority for the Volta region, and then Mr. Ananin Sia,
Deputy,
aka Shua.
Miss Jen.
I want to.
You don't know.
I want to.
Miss Jen.
I want to acknowledge the hard-working officials of the tourism.
Thank you.
Akwesi Agyeman.
Thank you.
And Mr. Ananisia.
Thank you.
AKA Shua.
Including the one they do so that.
No, it's a more town thing.
we need Miss Jen to explain further.
Oh Lord!
Miss Jen should come and explain with better and something particular.
This is a serious. The words of Oliver Kahn. This is a serious.
No, but I think you guys are pronouncing wrong. Maybe it's schwa.
No,
a schwa is a vowel sound.
It's an empty vowel.
In the International Phonetic Alphabet, a schwa
is the empty vowel.
So maybe that's what it is.
The vowel was just a new phrase.
Linguistic.
No, his name was Swagger.
Yeah, you are the one to tell us what his name was. Hey, Chairman. Let's get into tech. We'll discuss that later. Let's get into tech and social media trends. Brought to us by Cowbank. Cowbank is saying that it's the season to stay connected. Get in touch with them on 0800 500 500. Customer care at cowbank.net or visit their website cowbank.net. Cowbank for it together. Vodafone is also bringing us the segment. They have the new One Ghana promo. With just one CD, you have 20 minutes talk time to all other networks and 1 GB of data every day between 5 a.m. and 11:59. So that's the great thing that's coming from Vodafone. Vodafone further together. Let's get into tech and social media trends with Daniel Cranting. All right, Mr. Cranting. Good morning. Good morning.
Let's start off with talk about Fedes in the trends.
Oh, okay.
He's trending with Ochehini in the National Cathedral.
Hey, 3 in 1.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Ochehini. Hello. Togbe. Yeah.
Ochehini. He says that Nanado shouldn't disgrace Ghana. Not completing the National Cathedral.
I said Nanado shouldn't. I thought he said we should support so that there won't be disgrace.
That's what I also remember reading.
Yeah, so Ghanaians should not disgrace Nanado by not contributing.
So we shouldn't bring disgrace.
More disgrace, man.
Then
that's all.
Disgrace, man.
Then talk about Fede says that they should suspend the unproductive
Hey.
National Cathedral. Says it's unproductive. So it was the
Talk me say me does
on one side, Ochihine is saying something. Then on the other side,
unproductive. Yes.
Yes. Traditional leaders also.
These are it's a very, very important calls from two directions. We pick and choose which one serves our very best national interest.
All right.
Whichever one they choose, do say that your traditional leader said I should do. Okay. Earth tremor. Earth tremor.
Did you feel it, Danny K?
Oh, we were all in the TV studio. We didn't feel anything.
I didn't feel it.
Charlie, you people, if rapture come, Charlie, brothers, you might not, Charlie. Charlie, I'm afraid for plenty of you, including some of the folks here. Rapture the happy brothers just talking, Charlie.
You felt it? Hey. So what is some of us not feel?
Because you and I were all in the TV studio.
Yes, we saw it. Fidi Gadochi, Gawuta Ganama. I just made a beeline and I left the place. Quick. Your own eyes never they deceive you. I'm not now coming to us. Somebody, did you feel it? We are left. Yeah, cool. Yeah. If you say you don't feel okay, you did.
So isn't it? And it was 3. First one 2.1. Second one 3.5. That one I should have felt it too.
We didn't.
We didn't. But you see the flawed guy in his shoe. He wears some combat be. Anytime he stamps, I've been feeling it. So I thought maybe
you thought it was one of those things.
Maybe. Then 1.8, the last one. So the last one was the lightest. 3.5, man, I didn't feel anything.
Okay.
Who were hot, especially the sinners.
They thought the end was 9.
They said, "Oh God, cool down."
So God was talking to those of us who are the righteous, or who are close to righteousness.
He was showing you, but
so he was giving you a sign.
He was giving you a sign
that yes, we should be clado.
Let's move on.
Some tech news. The European Union. I remember earlier this year they announced that they are going to allow or ask all phone manufacturing companies to use one charging cable.
Yes, that's right. I think the Type C.
Yes, the Type C.
So now they've set a date for 2024, December 28th. So by December 28th next year,
I have to stop using
next 2 years.
Okay.
Yes, everybody's supposed to start manufacturing phones with the Type C. So it looks like it will affect what is happening here because a company like Apple, they will not be able to be doing, they will not be able to, but they will try to cut costs by doing a separate, their own, and then doing the Type C just for the EU market. So it looks like very soon we'll all be using. So there are people who don't like buying chargers very soon.
You see, these are some of the benefits you get from a common market. And I believe that the AFTA project, which has a secretariat here in Accra, presents a perfect opportunity for things like this to be done because we need our own standards, to be able to force some of these things. Because you go around looking for a charger for your iPhone when there could be a Samsung charger which you could easily use. And also the European Union, to a large extent, is insisting on the capacity of the citizen to repair their own phones in some cases. So policy is moving in that direction. You don't need to go all the way to the producer or the manufacturer to fix your phone for you. There are parts that you should be able to ship in with your screwdriver, unscrew the thing, and fix it. And Africa has got to move in that direction. And I pray that AFTA provides that kind of policy response.
All right, guys. Thank you, Daniel. That was Tech and Social Media Trends brought to us by Cowbank and Vodafone.
Babe, so what are we doing tomorrow?
I have to go to the bank.
Several people reacting to, a few thoughts on tourism and what we can do to do better. Really, we'll get to those comments in a second. But Creamy Plus takes you back to the original creamy taste of evaporated milk. There's a great complement to your tea, coffee, gari, soakings, mashke, and all your cereals. You can get Creamy Plus in all Girl Shops, Bachona, Total, and other supermarkets. For bulk purchase, contact Let's Farm Distributors at Medina Rates Junction on 0501 682522. Or Grace has found us at Akoko Photo in Dansoman on 0245 162747. Now, in this day and age where rent charges are astronomical, getting a place to lay your head is a major challenge. Ugo Flip is here to make the home ownership journey realistic, fun, and more affordable. Log on to ugoflip.com, register with your phone number or email address, and buy as many tickets as possible. You can win a house at Pram Pram, and even if you don't win, You get rewarded with loyalty points equivalent to $3 per ticket. You can accumulate that to use as a down payment towards your next home with us or with affiliated property developers. Now embrace the freedom our forefathers paid the ultimate price for, the freedom to determine our destiny. ZPay's MoneyGram to Wallet gives you the freedom to choose when and where we should bring your money to you. Dial star 270 hash to register. Chop, make a chop, be empowered. All right, let's go through some of the comments that have come in.
Well, I got one here before Kokui comes in. Good morning, Bernard. It is worse in shipping goods by sea across West Africa. Shipment from Ghana to Sierra Leone, for example, will have to go to Denmark or Belgium, depending on the ship used, before coming back down. I wonder if this has changed. It's not. You know, there are some things that we take for granted. We don't even have a proper shipping line for West Africa. It is a sad situation.
Meanwhile, many of the ships are registered in Liberia, of the African ships.
Either Russian, Chinese, Korean vessels. Have we even built a proper vessel? Do we have like a school that build? We have Regional Maritime Authority. We train people to do the manning. Charlie, we haven't started our journey.
Not yet.
The race, no, we are now, Charlie. It's like people are going to run, and when they started running the race, they realize that you are still sleeping. It's like you are going for a marathon. So, or we call it shepe. So by the time the people are running from Presec to Hachono, yeah, that's Africa Matter. It's an what station? Gosh. Modern Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, CBS. People should visit their Amejope Canopy Walk. It's beautiful and people will love it. This is KY in Tema.
This year, Volta region is part of the caravan. And trust me, I'm biased, but Volta region as a tourism experience is almost unrivaled.
Volta region is...
Yes, and you know, every year they come and move it either west or east. This year we are starting from Volta and we are ending in the west. So please get on. Put it on your bucket list. Put it on your bucket list.
Volta region is lovely.
Yes. You went there for your honeymoon.
Yeah, it was.
Memories.
I got to climb the Afaja.
He went to connect with part of his roots.
Correct.
So he went to connect with part of his roots.
I went to climb the Afaja.
All in our name.
One thing on my bucket list.
He did everything in our name.
Did you come back with souvenirs?
Oh, a lot.
Souvenirs. Okay, Richard. If you go to Paga, you will regret going there. The place is now a dumping site. Oh dear. Okay. Better than team, most of us would love to travel across Ghana. It is, however, way more expensive to do a staycation in Ghana than to visit Dubai for 5 nights. You know what? This person makes a good point. And, you know, to buttress that, I'm going to read a message that I got from someone this morning as well, who made this exact same point. Now, the person said he was planning a trip for him and his family. He wanted to take them somewhere up north. And he got the shock of his life when they mentioned how much it would cost. And so, so he basically said, listen, you guys are speaking about tourism. I wanted to give the kids an experience. I decided to go up north. I was being charged $750 a night per person. This alone is without airfare and transportation from Tamale to the place by road. I've decided to rather save and take them on an experience in Dubai. Local tourism is unnecessarily expensive.
No, but to be fair, there are other places that are cheaper. So, for example, if you wanted to do... so, let me give you a quick tourism route. So, let's assume you wanted to do just Volta, right? You can say you would do Sogakope. You do the somewhere in some Banku there, goes to Chills Resort at Jita, all right? Or you could do Early Beach Resort. The beaches are beautiful.
Oh, my word.
You can do
what is there to see?
You can do kayaking.
Thank you.
Go for it. You can do...
Bernard, hold on.
You've got kids. Remember, he's giving his kids an experience.
Yes. You see, that's the thing I've always had. If you
so what all the children do when they go?
The children do. You see, because I will not drive for 4 hours with my kids around a place. Get there and all they can do is for 10 minutes.
They'll do
and
kayaking.
Then we come back. You understand?
They'll do canoe boat riding.
You don't take them on a 4-hour drive just that they eat food.
You can also do fishing.
You can do fishing. We are struggling, but we'll tell you something.
No. We will tell him.
Yes.
Have they done fishing?
He can do.
Have they done fishing before? Or do?
For how long, Sky?
So they'll put the net for 10 minutes. They are okay.
No, we are saying
things like that. How to fry fish.
No, hold on.
to fight fish. No, but honestly, hold on. You see, no. You see, it might sound very extreme.
You're not helping us.
Hold on. I see. Honestly, we take many of these things for granted. I have come to realize that for those of us who live in Accra,
yes,
you see, the mentality of our kids, it has nothing to do with dada, but it has nothing to do with
what they will need in life.
What they will need in life. They assume that everything is a bodo. You understand?
This guy.
But you want them to go to. You want them to take a trip to go and learn how to.
No, I'm saying there are
fend
things.
for themselves.
There are things. Look. There are things. So when I went to Sokakope, I sat on. I sat on a boat. I sat on a boat, and then it was getting to late afternoon. So the boat took us to Sokakope Beach Resort. We went all the way to the bridge and got back. It was a nice ride. We wore our life jackets. We see Jama on the boat. It was fine. Now, if you go to,
I'm sorry. Would you take your kids on that?
Oh yes.
Why not?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Continue.
When people go to South Africa, they go and see how to prepare wine.
I'm not a good swimmer, right? But I have, for example, if you go to Early Beach Resort, you go to Chills Resort, some of those places you can sit on the kayak. They say there's something you sit inside with. It's like your leg is in the canoe, and then you paddle it. Yeah, it's very nice. Okay, you wear and then you eat. Look at the food they are eating near the beach, near the water.
Food.
You see, near the water.
Yes.
Look at the aerial shot.
Aerial shots.
Yes, and then look at the house, and then you can. Please, if you own a tourist center, tell me what you can do there. But at least there are more things. It's not bad. It's not bad. I know. It's not bad. Stop making us struggle to promote our tourism.
Bernard.
No, you're struggling.
Wait. Okay. Godfred will go all the way to a winery in South Africa or Spain.
I will not.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
And go and see how wine is prepared.
Yes.
Just that too.
Yes.
And taste some wine.
AJ does it.
Because there's an experience built around it.
But that's what Sky is saying. We can build an experience around
how to proper.
Yes. You see, hold on. Remember,
there are kids who have not even seen how the fish is fried, but they eat calamari every day.
But make it a proper experience.
we will do it.
But
Driving along, then you say, "Oh, FO."
See,
My kids want to see how you catch them.
Some mom might even slap you. He's busy doing his thing.
I take your point that you see, for me, there are two things. There's a duty to support our local tourism.
Oh yes,
of course.
There's also a responsibility to develop it for it to be interesting. Yeah. All right. So I am not doubting that when you go to these Dubai and these places, they create a lot of things. Some of this is make believe as well.
Yes.
What is pleasurable can be placed on a screen for your mind to believe that going to Dubai and going to do this is pleasurable. Going to play golf here is this. So some of it is our media responsibility to let people know that
these
there
things
are so
exist.
many things. Like when I was in Legon, when they are doing beach trip, White Sands Beach. Charlie, you want to go. It's not because White Sands Beach anything. The way they do the artwork, beach trip. If you do what we can do beach trip. You haven't
but hold on. Did you realize though that for a lot of people was underwhelming? Because after we get on the bus and everything and we get there, after 10 minutes, you've experienced everything. The girl you wanted to go and dance with, you've swam. The food you've eaten.
It's socializing, basically.
Yes, I get that. So the investment that you put in something like Disneyland in Paris, the way they do it, is a lot of money, millions of dollars of things nicely curated. So our tourism hasn't gotten to that point. Okay, but I'm saying that the habit of even like Akosombo, there's a new place we went to. What's the name of the place?
Peninsula.
Peninsula, really
or
nice.
Even Senchi. I mean Senchi. Apparently Senchi, you can even do sit on a canoe and paddle into the water.
Yeah, you can do.
It's not perfect though, but for me, it's a start. Okay, it's a start, and it's look, if they develop a Disneyland here, if you don't have the culture of traveling and visiting your own country, you even waste it to be profitable. Yes. So sometimes we need to see the demand. Ghanaians like traveling. There's a huge domestic tourism market in the US. So it makes sense to develop it further. So if we will even give our families once a year of go somewhere and go and see this place or go and see that thing, then we can come and talk about it on air. It will also encourage the tourism people, because for me, you see, I'm seeing tourism as a strategic development thing. It's not just for me to have pleasure as a man. It's to give the society a value.
It also spreads income.
You see, so it's something we should look. When I was in the US, I visited a major zoo in San Diego. Charlie,
The San Diego Zoo is a major zoo, like proper.
People were coming from other states to the US, like the Omoko Laboratory.
Yep.
Queue. This. Hey! Yeah. We had to even buy tickets to get a space. And this was like regular Saturday deal.
But you know why? Because those kinds of zoos invest in bringing in attractions. They even loan. So
they had lions.
Every zoo has a lion. No, you see, it's not just that. Every zoo has a lion.
They had polar bears.
But they might, you hold on, Bernard. But they might bring in a specific type of lion that is not available anywhere.
They created the ecosystem for them. They had an Indian elephant. You see, they had 2 polar bears in some ice something in the same zoo.
Yes.
They had crocodile. I don't know how they got it.
Crocodile is common.
And then we sat in a cable thingy. That took us across the whole thing to the end. And then when you came down, I said, okay, when you come down now, you can walk through and choose where you pass. So like they basically give me like 2 hours of walking to do.
Yes. In fact, if you go,
I couldn't go. So you go like 11 o'clock, you come back at 4 p.m. And your money will finish.
Now, how long will it take you to go through that Accra Zoo?
Thank you.
You see, that's what it
in this current state, refurbished and all.
The one with no security cameras.
But we are saying, Godfrey, we understand that there's a problem. What we are saying is that we have to start from somewhere.
Yes, but we never seem to start. You see, Bernard, that's my issue.
You see, by talking about it,
this is not a new conversation.
No, I know.
This is not a new conversation.
Me, I've been on the caravan.
This is not a new conversation.
I've been on the caravan twice. I can say that there are some parts of Ghana that are not bad. To be fair, when I went to Ghana Commerce Hometown, I was a bit disappointed.
The mausoleum that was missing even letters.
It's terrible. And then there are, but you see, I don't even want to say.
Because it should not be in 2022 that we should start thinking that Nzulezu should be something experiential. No. That when I get to Nzulezu, it should be created in such a way that I spend 3 days in Nzulezu. So I go and bath the Kwame Nkrumah something. I go to Kwame Nkrumah's house.
I go and see where he used to play.
Something. It's there. That grows the whole community. But you drive there. Aloski spent 20 minutes there. He was frustrated. He came here.
If it wasn't that Holad gave me Sobolo to drink, I'm wasting.
And again, what Kwame Nkrumah related souvenir did you find when you got there, or were you able to buy, or how many?
There was nothing.
You see.
So you took your money away.
All right, what we are saying is that we are doing our part.
Yes.
We are traveling around the country.
Yes.
There are nice tourist attractions. Like there are lots of canopy walks now in various forests in the country. There are a lot of them. Kakum is amazing.
Are they doing
we even have our country goes through that. It's located on the center of the equator.
Like, I want to I want people to tell me, do we have zip lines here? Like it's really cool.
Zip line,
you sit in the thing and then
you don't sit. You hang.
Oh yeah.
And then you slide from one end to the other. You can get stuck in the middle.
I don't like.
Bernard and team, most of us would love to travel. Okay, we've had this one already. Good morning, team. Chinese likewise have a museum for everything. Can you believe they even have a cocoa and tea museum?
Oh, Charlie.
Accounting and tax museums. And a whole traveling in China for tourism is a big time. Okay. Yeah. Chinese has one major strategy. Put a good road in a town and development will follow. This is Ni from Jaskan. Okay. Team City, all of these experiences of history have been well captured by South Africa in their apartheid museum. Videos, exhibits, etc. I was touched emotionally when I visited, and I do still feel it at certain times. We can easily replicate this, but greed is killing leadership. This is Ike. Oh, if you go to Rwanda and the genocide memorial, oh my gosh.
But it's not even that, you see. Do you know the problem I have? Let me tell you something. You see, the city of Accra itself and most of our major cities, even cities themselves, you don't need the way cities are built, okay, are tourist attractions. So city looks a certain way.
Yes.
You sell how the city looks like. So if you come to Accra, Accra, maybe there's old Accra, if we had maintained it properly. And we were having this conversation when we went there. Old Accra is gone. There's nothing properly maintained about old Accra. You don't get what I'm saying.
Even the building we are in.
Properly reconstructed.
Or maintained. He's right.
You see? So you have maybe huge swaths of people living in the same places that people used to live in 100 years ago. With the same kind of furniture. Look, when you go to Lamu, okay, that's the Arabian part of Kenya, basically, where they have that kind of history. Bernard, there are places where they don't sell alcohol because of the religion. Look, Bernard, you cannot buy accommodation there. Look, the Italian retirees, the Formula One people, that is where they go. Do you know why? Look, it's not like the buildings are something. It's the same building that was there 150 years ago. painted white. The bed is from
and they keep it.
It's like that. It's not like some modern bed. It's the same thing. They've kept it the same way the place was 200 years ago. But people live there. But they have internet. They have everything.
It's a good thing you are saying. You know, when I was in the UK, there are houses that once it's older than a certain age, they give it a certain name.
Like grade 1, grade
and then
2.
The state or local government says you cannot renovate it without permission. You cannot destroy it because it's like a legacy building. So if you drive in Adabraka, you see some of the houses and things. So maybe a starting point could be even preserving part of the architecture of Accra.
We are breaking it down and selling it.
Yeah, so that's the point we are making. Like that. So our development is wrong-headed. So once you have a lot of money, gentrification takes over. We don't even preserve like High Street. I was driving on High Street last time, and it's like you're right. They are not even keeping the buildings the way they are supposed to be, so that you can come back in time and say
the oldest. I think it's the oldest club or something, country club or something in this country. Yeah. It's on the High Street. They're breaking it down. Where Musica used to be.
They say
Musica is gone, but Ghana Club is still there.
They are fighting.
I don't know. They have to keep
I
that.
think something Drive project.
Yeah, Ghana.
The Marine Drive.
They are fighting to keep it.
Marine Drive project.
Marine Drive.
The oldest hotel. Maybe Seaview. Was that not supposed to be the oldest hotel or something?
Maybe
is it there?
Maybe our concept of development is get a lot of money, put up an ugly high-rise building.
No, but that's even the point I'm making.
Wealthy.
And we
don't understand that preserving architecture, preserving the sanctity of the space is part of what makes a place rich. So if you go to Old Accra, you should go to differentiate. So High Street should be a nationally maintained street because a lot of history took place there. I mean, Natuna Matifi was taking me on tours of Accra on the High Street to explain to me what Accra means. I don't know if there's any preservation or any plan for it. I don't know if there's any nationally organized tour of even Accra to tell you what used to happen here.
Koku and I were there a month ago. We'll tell you what happened.
So for me, I feel it's maybe a different conversation getting to the election around, because you see where our economy has got into now, we need to think outside the box. And I feel tourism is a gold mine that has not been explored. The little I've seen around it, I think it's something that whoever gets serious with can solve multiple problems. Because when you solve tourism, you solve infrastructure. When you solve tourism, you solve employment.
Local economy.
When you solve tourism, you solve economics because you solve foreign currency. When you solve tourism, you solve history and pride. Right? So it's like one size cut. So it's not like an enclave economy like mining. Tourism has benefits. It's almost like the scripture says, for spiritual exercise has value for both this life and the life that is to come. Tourism must benefit multiple fronts. It can even reduce crime. Okay? It's amazing what communities that have been regained when you give young people work to do. How useful you find those young people if you give them something to believe in and something to hope for. Community. So we shouldn't see tourism as one of the normal sectors where we just say, let's throw 2 million budget. It's huge because if people are I went to Keta, and I think Keta is possibly one of the most well-planned towns in the country in terms of the original Keta. A lot of it has been taken by the sea. When they show you Keta in 1850, straight lines, the buildings, the architecture, the stories, of course, the sea has taken a lot of it, but a lot of it has also just been left the way it is. And it's not, nobody's adding value. As you said, when somebody gets money, puts up a nice big building, he's a new politician in town, we all have to respect him. So I feel in trying to promote tourism, I'm even trying to tell our people that you have something to be proud of. No industry does all of that. Saves you foreign currency, employs people. You can't develop tourism without developing infrastructure. You need electricity, you need water, you need roads, right? Then you have the economy around paraphernalia, printing, music, movies, culture. Then you now add pride, education. What do you want? Meanwhile, take every budget. Take our last 20 budgets. Tourism is the sector that has the least.
It's almost an afterthought.
Tourism appointment is possibly the lowest. In fact, if they give you tourism, in fact, why did they give Jake?
Meanwhile, it's a huge place.
Meanwhile, Jake was one of our most effective tourism ministers.
He was a marketer and a student marketer.
From chief of staff to tourism minister. A lot of people say, Charlie, Kufuor has demoted a guy. Because we don't even understand
what you wanted.
That shows our thinking.
In fact,
You see?
the project, the agenda was to make tourism the highest foreign exchange earner for the country, exceeding gold, cocoa, and all of them even put together. At the time, they were looking at billions of US dollars, bringing Ghanaians outside, bringing Africans or, people of African origin, Ghanaian origin from outside to come back and see, experience, bringing the whites, the atrocities that were committed by the Portuguese, the Dutch people, the British, bring them back so they can experience what it was, what their grandfathers, their great-great-grandfathers.
That's the year of return. And then beyond the return.
Exactly. So it's basically, as you were saying, the question is whether current leadership sees it like that. Rwanda is investing in, the EPL. They print it on
Visit
on
Rwanda.
Visit Rwanda. What are we doing? You see other African countries promoting their countries on CNN. BBC channels and all of these things. What are we doing?
Yeah. I'll put you on the caravan this year, and I will
Great.
give you one task. When you get to any tourist center or any town, take a photo so that people will know that you were there some.
Thank you.
You can, like when you were in secondary school, you take a candle and write.
I was there.
Aloski was here some.
Yes.
So Richard, the last guy was here some.
Yes, and I'll put the date there.
That's all I need you to do. If you do that for 3 years, there are people who are watching in Guyana, who follow in wherever, they'll come and say, well, I want to visit
this place.
So I'm going to appoint you a tourism ambassador for Citi.
Thank you.
Do you take it up the
I
offer?
don't, in fact, I'm even taking it before you change your mind.
I'm appointing you. So you'll be
we just can do so much.
You'll be on the cover. Okay,
Much
please have
more.
more.
Okay. City CBS, Bernard, tell them to go to Quao. There's a zip line, cave tour, waterfalls, a 1,000 steps walkway, a Stone Age park. We should patronize Ghana.
Stone Age Park? Wow.
He says, okay.
Okay.
Bernard and team, please tell them to go to Point and Kill off the whole road.
We've been there.
You told us about that
This
before.
is all
right?
catfish and tilapia in Italy. Who are you used to?
When you went to, you didn't go to Point and Kill.
It wasn't on
When you are going for an university, remind me.
Accommodation, children's playground, recreational park.
And they cook it
and
in
they
front
cook
of
it.
you.
You see the fish and you point it.
This fish, there is business. Kill it for me. Okay. Let me see something.
Okay.
Point and Kill, they have what?
Yeah, so they have accommodation.
Point and Kill is now no longer just eating. So they have
children's playground, recreational park, canopy walk.
They have ostriches,
conference and event space,
they have
animal
horses.
watching. And it's very affordable.
They've actually, to be fair, when I went to Point and Kill, I met a lot of young people from Ho who had come. It's like a 10-minute drive from Ho, where there's chalets, you can sleep in there for a weekend and things. And they are like rearing all kinds of animals.
Are the prices good?
Oh, for you
Apparently
can
it's
afford
affordable.
it.
Hey,
Okay.
It's not that expensive.
Okay. Huh, all right.
and Kill.
So Point and Kill. Bernard, it's a start and it's beautiful but expensive. Rooms going for $200 and above in Ghana, and the experience is short-lived. Prices during a weekday, which is off-peak, is the same as weekends with no experience.
Yes.
I regretted going to Sogakope Resort with my wife on a weekday. It was so boring. Even the boat guy wasn't around. We just spent one day and we left to Kita. That's Fifi.
Where did he go?
He went to Sogakope Resort.
Oh, that's a
But they
very...
make
Okay,
a
so
good point.
let me say
Yeah.
something else. So one of the things we can do is there's a business opportunity as well. So like my friend Maulifui Kodovia, right? Sometimes they do these things. So the hotels may not have any ideas, but there are young people who can come together and organize a tour.
Yep.
So Fred Ho can say, I want to do a tour of Volta Eastern and OT, and I'm going to put these activities around it. All right, so that in those, then they organize the things for it. So, because the hotels themselves may not, they don't see the traffic. But if you have the promotional power to say, if I get 200 people from Accra, like we do, it's like the caravan thing we are doing.
right.
So the space is, you see, the hotels may not think the way you think, because they are looking at people coming for conferencing and meetings and things. But if somebody like Citi can say, we are doing 7 days, 3 buses, pay X amount of money, drive around the country, then they can plan things around it. So it's I think a lot of the problems Godfred is pointing out are also solutions and business opportunities. Because you are saying that if you go to the place, there's nothing. Somebody can plan something around that thing so that it will be an expense. You can't do it the whole year. And so a lot of the tourism things that we are doing is not because that we've gone to study it in school or something. It's a need we've seen that we are trying to meet. And I feel that we need to get the hotels to also, I think some Google Kakra, they are too stiff, their pricing doesn't make sense. And I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah, because, patronage is low. They sometimes want to put all the frustration on one person, which doesn't help.
Instead of rather lowering the price and getting more volume.
All right, Bernard, our embassies and high commissions should market us well.
Yeah.
Good morning to all of you. This is John from Winneba.
Yeah.
What are they marketing?
In fact, I mean, look,
That's
I
the
think...
question. What's their brief? Okay, Bernard and Co., please ask the Minister of Aviation how many flights were recorded at Ho Airport since it was inaugurated. This is Kofi in Usu. Good morning, Team City. This Christmas, the bells are not jingling. Oh, looks like I go chop this Christmas with Coke and bread. Assemble, Charlie.
Hotels give discounts. People will come.
Yeah.
If you can give, in fact, I feel that I think people, look, the kind of promotion this radio station gives to tourism. If I were a hotel, I could take advantage of that to give some very good discounts.
But they don't give packages and discounts.
Yes.
The hotels here. You see, like Fifi who went to Sogakope and off peak was being charged the same amount as peak.
Yes.
How
can that
be? Guys, don't find an excuse for
you.
you.
Can be here. Namibia Air will come with airline advert that they've done with the hotels.
Yes.
And then you announce it, the places you go. It's a whole complete package. South Africa does it, Botswana does it, Kenya does it, but we don't do it.
No.
Okay, visit Ghana, we'll plan a mini tour for you. You start from wherever you end at Zena Lodge, or you go to Boga, something.
I thought that's supposed to be
And it's
something
all
that
one
travel and
package,
touring
one price.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You need innovation, and for it you need to work with other people, and then you need support, and the hotels must also be ready. They are a bit slow, John.
Okay. Good morning, Nathan. Hotels are expensive and have no proper class to be charging what they're charging in Africa, bro. The experience in Dubai will always come in handy. Okay. Bernard, please try and take a caravan to Amejope where we have a nice canopy walk. Okay. Bernard and team, I think the government should also focus on getting the railway system up and running.
Really would.
All right. We just don't know how to raise money as a country. We want to sleep and wake up as millionaires. We have students at Tech studying sculpture, painting, etc. Can't we take up a project and develop Cape Coast Castle as their final year project work? Involve all other departments so it becomes a commercial property. Rather, we do project work, spend monies to bind them, and it becomes a recipe for rats and roaches. This is Kobe in Adenta. Team City, speaking of tourism, even the roads leading to most of our tourist sites in Ghana are atrocious. Yeah. Guys, I've been complaining about this the whole of last week. My mom had to travel to Conakry. She had to do transit through Lomé to Bamako to Conakry.
Okay.
It cost 900 euros.
Yes.
That's how much I pay from Europe to Ghana.
Okay.
How is this possible? That's quite
Okay, Nathan, you see, the Godfred put me on the spot saying that there's nothing to do in some of these tourist sites. You know, I met Fred Duho.
That will keep me there.
How did I meet Fred?
There's something to do.
I met Fred Duho during the July 2021 when I was a Volta Tourism Ambassador with Kafui Day and MFA Apawenko. So he was on the
Have you
trip.
given up the position?
No, I'm an ambassador for life. Now, so Fred was doing some work with some of the hotels. Fred, let me just ask you a question.
In fact, he has promised to take me along.
Fred asked me a question I couldn't answer. He said, when you go to some of these places in the region, what can you do? Sky said you can fry calami. So just give me and I'm not trying to promote any particular brand. What I'm just saying is that using Volta region as an example here, what are some of the activities that these hotels and tourism sites offer beyond simply swimming and going to look at the beach?
But you have to stress the calami.
Okay, Fred, so please help me.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
Not like you mentioned, we are not here to promote any particular but when you talk of let's say Volta Serene, for instance.
Okay.
They are centered in Ho. Yeah. When you go to Ho, there is no tourism activity there. So what they do is that they organize a trip to the nearest facilities like the Blue Waterfall and let's say the new one is Amejope, which is the canopy walkway and those places. So that they found their own niche or their own way of creating a package.
So there's a monkey sanctuary and
exactly.
They let you go and see.
Exactly. Then when you go to the southern part, for instance, there is this new place which is the Chill River Resort. Located at Anyami, but the road is just not too good. But even that one, when you go there, you have almost every experience you can think of. The kayaking, you can do the bike riding. Like the place is so spacious.
Is it bike? Normal bike?
Normal bike. Like they encourage this kind of.
Is it quad biking?
You have mini golf. Yeah, no, the normal bike. Where you can bike around. Yes, because no. Basically, they are giving you an experience where you wouldn't feel bored. They have the mini golf where you can play. Yes, which is not.
Because girlfriend is saying that when you go to Dubai,
boat ride, they take you to the estuary and a whole lot. So they have a number of activities.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Please, are you impressed? They said they have kayaking, they have bike.
To take me along.
No, I just want to ask you, if you have dollars to spend with your daughter, and will you go to a place to do kayaking, bike riding, and mini golf?
Yes.
Or you want more?
Yes, I will.
So it's not bad.
At
A reasonable price.
Good price.
But the new experience is that if you don't really want to spend on accommodation takes a chunk of the cost. So if you can do tent camping. That is the new cool.
Wait is that? I want to understand. So tent camping.
Yes.
Where do you do
So we do that at the beach.
Hey,
Yes.
You just take a tent and go and sleep at the beach.
You will enjoy it. I tell you, that experience is.
Which beach?
out
Is
of this world.
the beach within a hotel or just a beach?
It's a beach that is fenced.
Okay.
Okay. So security is provided, but restaurant and everything. I mean, it's quite an interesting experience that you would never regret to have.
Families, or this is more like adults?
Adults,
But
friends.
do they do things like bonfire? Do they
We do
fire
all that in
crackers and
the night. Yes.
So-
When I take people on such kind of.
so you're tourism.
Yes.
He's a guy.
So you want to compete with your station?
No, not at all.
I'll send you a number. You want to compete with your station?
Not at all.
Like an outdoor
That I can do. So basically, the whole thing is that.
And I hope they do a glitoto so that
we do all
by the fireside
you do
you
all
have
that.
some old man. When girlfriend's daughter comes together with the friends, they will go there, sit down.
So
and
the
they tell
arrangement,
them
Is it not the glaze?
the arrangement is that
Storytelling.
storytelling, things like that.
the arrangement is that the bonfire night you are served with fried yam, let's say things while you sit around the fire. Then someone gives you poem, and you do jama.
You know.
I mean, it's a whole lot of fun.
So guys, some of this.
You see, some of these things,
Some of these
you
things
have not think of them to be
marketed well. So a lot of times the hotels don't have budget for marketing. They don't want to do adverts. They don't want to tell people what they have, and they're also not getting.
So wait, so if they don't want to do that, how do they want to get patrons?
By faith.
Word of mouth.
They only offer bread and breakfast, which is not really
I get you.
working
The
well for
point I am
anybody.
making is this: if for example hotels have all these packages, okay,
Some of them do.
some of them do. The ones that do, why are they sitting on the?
They don't have money.
The money to
They
advertise.
don't have money.
Hey,
Marketing budget.
See,
That's why you have to come together and partner. You have to partner with people so that you
some of
organize
them,
it.
I mean, the hotels, their challenge is the amount of levies they pay to the
It's
state.
also very high.
That is basically why a chunk of what they earn goes to the government.
So instead of the government rather promoting the sector,
It's stifling it
they are
by this
rather
kind of
collecting the small
cost. So
money.
that is their main concern. When you speak to almost all of them, so when you're even asking for discount, they are like, no. It's not possible because they can't even meet, break even in the first place.
So this
Look at the
tourism thing,
numbers that come in.
is it your hobby or is it your second job? Or?
No, it's my kind of hobby.
Your side hustle.
Kind of.
Are you getting that money from it?
No, I do it basically because I want to have fun.
And the love for the region.
Exactly. I just want to have fun. So, for instance, if someone wants to go to Volta region right now, I can spend my whole weekend.
And just
you along,
organize it
and
for
then
them.
We just go.
Yeah.
So you're
It's not as though
you're
we were
a
going to pay.
tourism ambassador.
Proper one.
Deputy. Now that the boss is here, I want to be deputy to Sky.
No, but Fredo is a big man.
He is. I've monitored some of his trips. and
Fredo is a
it'd be
big man.
fun to do.
He's a big man.
You do well with that.
When you want to,
But boss, if you are saying big man, those who will have to give me some questions, they will tell me I'm a big man.
A man shall not live by coins alone.
Somebody sent a very instructive, text message. He says that Ghanaians would travel all the way to South Africa and drink wine. Just to drink wine, no? But they won't go to the Volta region to drink some small akpeteshie.
Yeah, because
It's true. It's true.
the experience.
There are more comments. There are more comments.
Okay, if there are other places that are cheap, the question is, why is local tourism expensive? That's Enoch from Sakumon.
Economies of scale.
I was in Damango for an assignment. My group leader decided we should go to Zena Lodge to have some fun. The buffet alone was $120 per person.
Come on,
dang.
The buffet $120.
Come on,
Is this the October dollars or the pre-October dollars? Since October, when I see $18, I don't want to see because that's 14.
Charlie, Nathan and team, it's good to do internal tourism, but why should I travel with my family to Mole Park and not be able to afford hotel accommodation?
Oh.
I plan to go to Amejope, but looking at the cost,
See, Fred,
that's
you organize some
Because you flew from here to taste wine.
Wine, but you've not tasted like potassium in Ghana.
Because it's nice.
That's true.
But the point is that the things around the wine
that's
taste,
the thing.
the
whole
experience, people like
you know.
It give you a lovely story.
Yeah,
You see, the people like half the time, man. Some of the things you even hear, the stories are manufactured.
Yeah, but they've manufactured
Meanwhile,
something
some of the
that
real experiences we have, we are not selling it.
But they've manufactured it well.
Market it and package it well. You see, the major issue with our tourist sites in Ghana is our culture of maintenance. Almost all the well-known tourist sites in Ghana have horrible washrooms. Yes, it's true. From Ophelia Tyra Anderson in Tema Gulf City.
Guy, I have a simple assignment for you.
Talk to me.
I don't know if they've reopened the Botanical Gardens, but use their washroom.
It's horrible.
Oh, I said it's an assignment. It's a news assignment I'm giving you.
I'll visit there during the weekend.
More comments.
When I was going to Nigeria by road, I passed by an island just like the Nzulezu. In my mind, I told myself I shall surely return. The issue about our tourist sites in Ghana is our culture of maintenance. Almost all the well-known tourist sites in Ghana have horrible washrooms. Okay,
so it's the second part of the same message.
Godfred, the Bunso Arboretum has a small zip line.
Okay.
Okay.
Bunso.
Yeah, Bunso.
Yeah, I've been there. It's cool.
Yeah, it has a zip line.
Okay.
I didn't. Well, when I was there, I didn't know about the zip line, but
I'm told Legon Botanical Park also has some nice things.
Also has the zip line now.
Oh, now they do. Yes. Hey, they've improved.
No, I think I have to visit Pointing.
You don't go Pointing before.
Go the place. Charlie Pointing.
You go. Me, I don't go there. So.
Yeah, we know
Let me say that I've been to the Legon Botanical Gardens.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's overrated. It's overrated.
I think slow music break.
Let's relax more.
Anaklu Mountain is a very high mountain which stays about 12 kilometers from Ho. Very good tourist center for people to visit. And then we have problems about the mountain. That is, the villages surrounding the mountain experience cracks whenever they build. Then we are now thinking about how the government can help us so that we can move, they can help us move the villages nearby to far away places so that buildings can stay longer than we are experiencing today. When you come down to the mountain, you will see that there is fresh air, always, however hot the weather is. In the evening, getting to about 4 o'clock, you will experience freshness, fresh wind coming down from the mountain, and then you will not like to leave the place. On the mountain itself, you will see the vegetation is very good, and on top of the mountain, there are animals like buffaloes, antelopes, bats, and then important things like caves in which you have other animals hidden in it, which comes out during the night only.
All right, still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Sending your messages on 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Now, the Millennium Development Authority, in partnership with the Ghana Cares or Batampa program and the Ministry of Finance, has launched its Economic Enclave project near Asutrare on the Enclave Falls under the 100 billion cedi Ghana Cares or Batampa program set up to create jobs and revive the economy. The project will focus on providing support for the cultivation of 110,000 acres of land across the country to expand our productive capacity of rice, tomato, maize, vegetables, and poultry. Heritage Christian College is at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium, accredited by GTech, affiliated to KNUST. They've got BBA programs, BSc Info Technology, Bachelor of Theology, tutorials for professional programs, media and IT short courses. You can get in using your WASI, ABCE, GBCE, HND diploma, top up or mature 25 years or above. Call them on 0547 777 731 or 0202 298 399. There's a 50% tuition waiver for all January 2023 fresh students. Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education and training compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Askia Immigration Consulting Services is committed to being your source of information, personal advisor, and authorized rep in all your immigration matters for Canada. They are the One Airport Square, Airport City, Accra, Ghana, adjacent Holiday Inn Hotel. Visit askiaimmigration.com for free consultation. Call them on 0506 012289 or 0241 318 890 or 0594 449 054 or send an email welcome@askiaimmigration.com. Askia Immigration Consulting Services, the joy of greatness for your journey to Canada.
And let your Mercedes-Benz be in top shape this Christmas at Silver Star Auto. Silver Star Auto, with over 25 years experience in Mercedes-Benz, is offering a fantastic end-of-year after-sales promo for all Mercedes-Benz owners. Enjoy free inspection of your passenger or commercial vehicle and enjoy 15% discount on genuine spare parts and all after-sales service at competitive prices. Visit any Silver Star Auto workshop in Accra, Tema, or Kumasi. The promo ends on 23rd December 2022. Visit our website and social media handles to book your slot. And if you go to Surfline, some people enjoy coaching their football teams from the comfort of their couch. And some of us like to visit the sweet-smelling perfume shops in France from our phones. Some people appreciate comedy shows that make happy tears roll down their cheeks. Surfline knows this, so they're making our happy places easy to find with their fast data. All you need to do is top up or more to get a Surfline device and experience countless uninterrupted hours of fun. You'll also qualify for a free voucher to Surfline partners like X-Men, Cheesy Pizza, Doughman Foods, and Body Basics. This is nice. So whether your happy place is a front row seat at the Grammys or you're like me and you want to go on IG to check out what's going on there, then Surfline is for you. Surfline, better together. And are you getting good insight from your data for decision making? Join the data analytics revolution and empower your team to work smart, save time, and deliver insights from data using the world's most powerful business tools, Microsoft Excel and Power BI. Finex Hills Skills Hub offers hands-on practical training to corporates and individuals in Excel for work, data analytics, and financial modeling to help you improve productivity at the office. Register now on finexskillshub.com or call 0244-782-356 and sign up for our corporate and individual training sessions. Finex Skills Hub. Learn, connect, and grow.
Yes, please.
8:56. I mean, later this morning, something very, very important. Now, if you were following the stories we were reading earlier, I even read that on citynewsroom.com. The IMF and the Ministry of Finance will be announcing a staff-level agreement on Ghana's bailout. Remember, we went to the IMF to get about $3 billion over a 3-year period. And so the IMF will be announcing that staff-level agreement. And it doesn't mean the deal is done. At least those who were sent to come and do the work and all of that, they are done with their bit. And then a decision will have to be taken by the board. So now the situation will be escalated to the board for a final decision to be taken, or whether or not Ghana will be getting that $3 billion support. But so, for somebody who doesn't quite understand what all of this means, okay, maybe we've gone past that point, but what should we expect to hear this morning?
Well, I think because they've advertised that the Finance Ministry, the IMF, and the Bank of Ghana would be at this press conference, I want to imagine that they've come to some sort of agreement. Because, I mean, why would they meet us at 10 o'clock and then not tell us at least the good news from their side of the story? Now, I need to say that an IMF deal is not the only way Ghana can survive. There are countries that IMF doesn't support, they've not degenerated. So we need to point out that even though the build-up to this has been like, Charlie, we need an IMF deal or we are dead, I don't think that's actually quite the case. Although our options are very narrow outside an IMF program because of the way this thing has built up, particularly because what is driving us to get to the IMF is debt. You know, there are countries with different problems, but I think the debt overhang is the biggest. And having unsustainable debts is probably the worst thing that can happen to a country when it comes to your access to credit, access to financial support. So that's the issue. So what are they going to do? Well, from what we know, they said that before they will engage us formally, they have to conduct what is called a debt sustainability analysis, because the IMF basically says we can't give money to anybody who can pay back. So they are not really going to help you like the way you think. It's like, if you can't pay back, I can't help you. Now, the way to know if you can pay back is that we'll analyze your debt and see your ability to pay. So they do what they call a DSI. Now, when they do a DSI, they have many conclusions. The conclusion they came to us with Ghana was that our debt is unsustainable. We are at very close risk of debt distress. In fact, based on some of the rating agencies, we are already defaulting on our local debts. So the debt sustainability analysis shows the debt is unsustainable. It means you can't take new debt if you don't restructure the old debt. So IMF's 3 billion they are giving you, they are lending you money. But they are saying that the way you have handled your old debt, you are not in a position to pay until you do something drastic to show that you can still pay back that money. So this debt exchange is the solution I believe they came up with because there's no other way I see. Because some of your debt is owed to foreigners, some of debt is owed to local, some of your debt is in cedis, some of it's in dollars. And some of your local debt is in dollars. What they're saying is that you need to defer payments of some of those debts to give the government the fiscal space to do the things it plans to do so that the government can continue being a going concern. So, government lends money, borrows money from local institutions, individuals, banks, and things. They are saying that if you have to pay back all the monies you have to pay, particularly in 2023, where about 25% of your interest payments are due, if you have to pay that money in 2023, you have money to do anything else. So what you're going to do is you're going to ask people to come for new instruments. So whatever instrument they bought from you, apart from treasury bills, whatever bond they bought, whether they are banks that bought it, whether they are insurance companies that bought it, whether they are SNIT that bought it, you're going to ask them to pick from one of 4 options. Those 4 options is what we call the debt exchange. So we are dividing your debts into 4 unequal parts. We will pay interest on 17% of those debts in 2 years. Actually, in 3 years.
2025. Yeah.
Next year, they won't pay any.
And then they'll pay interest on the second 17% in another 2 years after the 2025. Then they'll pay another 25% of those interest in 2032. And they'll pay the rest of the 41% in 2035. So basically, they are spreading their obligations to you over 15 years. So they are extending the average tenor. Yes, they are proposing that on average, the tenor of the debts that they owe local people is 3.5 years. They are saying that they are going to extend that to an average of about 9 years. That's number one. Number two, the average interest based on the prevailing interest rate on the debt that the government owes you is probably around 15%. They are saying that based on their debt exchange proposal, they are going to reduce that to around 10%.
That's a haircut.
Good. So those are 2 dimensions of haircut: the tenor extension haircut and the interest reduction haircut.
So it will take us longer to pay you back and you will get less than you were going to get.
That's what they're saying. Now, there are 2 problems here. They still have not announced what they are doing about the foreign debt. I don't know whether they will announce it this morning because the government also owes foreigners. It goes to the bond market. This government has gone to the Eurobond 9 times. The first Eurobond was in 2007 under Kojo Banredu, 750 million. Then we did 5 more under the other government, a lot of it under Tekpe. But since this government in 2017, we've done 9 Eurobonds. So a lot of your debts are more expensive. So if you're analyzing a country's debt, you can say, is the debt concessionary or non-concessionary? A concessionary debt is that they give you a concession. If the Japanese government gives you money to build a road, it's a concessionary loan. The interest is very nominal. And they're basically saying, it's part of our relationship with you. We went to TICAD 3 years ago. We want to help you to do Chinese government concessionary loan. But when you go to the bond market, it's a commercial loan. It's non-concessionary and it's expensive. If you look at our debt profile for the past 20 years, in the past 8 or 9 years, our debt has become more commercial with higher interests and very punitive. So one major thing that the government has done is saying that we are going to do the debt exchange to free us up from paying our domestic creditors. The other issue is they have to tell the foreign people what they would do. Discussions, we have been told, I've boarded around things like we're going to give you 3 years where we're not going to pay any interest. And we're also going to do a few other things. The proposals are not yet in. A lot of people have resisted this debt exchange. In fact, Graphic today has 2 very interesting stories. So the front page of the Daily Graphic says, debt exchange panacea for strong market. This is finance minister. So this is the thinking of government. They believe the debt exchange is what it would take for... And I think that's a very hard sell. It's a very hard sell to say. The government's debt exchange program will help tidy up the bond market and develop it into a world-class status, the Minister of Finance has said. He has therefore urged Ghanaians and all bondholders to support the government to chart the difficult path to improve the finance of the country. This is a very hard sell. All right. Now, the story says currently there are over 60 different bonds and treasury notes with various coupons or interest and maturity periods. The maturity periods range from between 2 to 15 years. 3 of the bonds have maturity between 12, 15, and 20 years. This means that almost every month the government has to look for money to pay interest and also pay for maturing bonds. And then they talk about that. Now, the minister is saying that this debt exchange will tidy up the bond market.
Unfortunately.
I don't know how that's going to work because, eventually, possibly. But for now, if you are an investor, would you instruct your person to buy a government of Ghana bond?
That's the issue.
Because the conventional wisdom is that government sovereigns, when they lend to you, when you lend to them, they will always pay. But that conventional wisdom has been blown out of the water by what is happening. So I don't see how this becomes a panacea for the market now, maybe in the next 30 years, but probably not in the next 5 or 6. Then you have graphic business. So the graphic story is Samodua Blodepe. This is what the minister is selling. What are people buying? Graphic business, front page. Debt exchange program, no takers yet, 7 days to go. Maxwell Akalari Adombela, great story. Let me just read the first 3 paragraphs. With barely 7 days left, the Central Securities Depository Limited is still waiting for the consent of institutional bondholders willing to participate in the domestic debt exchange program. It requires them to postpone their interest in return for full payment of the principal at a later date. This follows the successful launch of the exercise on December 5, after which holders of the locally issued bonds are to consent for exchange of their instruments, numbering about 60 for 4 unique bonds. Where's the story continuing? Page 66. For 4 unique bonds to be issued later. Now, here's the meat of the story. Graphic business checks indicate that as of Monday, December 12, yesterday, no investor had communicated to the CSD of his intent to participate in the historic exercise. Launched by the Minister of Finance, the domestic debt exchange program requires institutional holders of eligible bonds to agree in writing to the CSD to exchange their current holdings for the new ones. Interested investors have up to 4 p.m. December 19, next week Monday, to confirm their willingness to participate, according to the Minister of Finance, who said the exercise was an avenue for Ghana to bring its debt to sustainable levels to be able to qualify for financial support from the IMF. Now, as of yesterday, however, no such application had reached the CSD. Sources at the Ministry of Finance and the CSD told the paper that it was possible that the bankers and brokers, which interface for the depository and investors, were collating the list in bulk to be forwarded to the depository later. So that's possible. So you shouldn't be alarmed. Given that the CSD does not deal with the individual investors, the sources who did not want to be named said it was not unusual for the depository to record no takers for the debt exchange program in the first few days. So don't worry. Exchange Babano. At the moment, we cannot say who is participating and who is not, because it is in the banks and the brokers that have to collate it to submit. So until the cutoff date has passed, it is difficult to say. I'm inclined to believe this is true, because if this was not true, if they knew that nobody was interested in doing it, the IMF would not be having an announcement today. Because they obviously need the debt exchange to succeed, even partially. So even if it won't have 100% uptake, even if it needs to have at least 60 or something, and I'm sure based on the assurances they've received, they are proceeding to make the announcement today.
Well, but Bernard, can we seriously say that at least half or more would be recording their numbers or their details in the book of...
Let me read the story. So he said the banks and the brokers are collating. Now let's continue. Maxwell says management executives in the treasury departments of 5 banks. So these are the guys who do this work. Who the paper spoke to also said that no such interest had been expressed by any of their government of Ghana bond investor clients. So, typical example. So you are the head of treasury of a bank. Some of your clients have directed you to buy, say, the 10-year government of Ghana paper or the 2.5-year government paper. He's saying that they haven't told them yet that they should do the exchange. So they are still holding on to the old one. But he says yet. Yet. Because today is 13th. There's still...
How many more days?
Up to
7
19th,
days left.
19th. They said many investors were waiting for firm decisions from their mother organizations on the way forward for the exercise, whose announcement had been met with resistance from labor unions through banks to pension and mutual fund managers. Do not forget that the banks, as we speak, do not have a position on the exercise. One is exercise. So what's happening is that you need an instruction. So if I'm a bank and say Richard Sky Pensions has asked me to buy 2 million cedi worth of government of Ghana bonds for it, the pension company may be engaging with its customers to say, Charlie, this debt exchange, should we go for it or not? If they agree, then they will instruct the head of treasury of Akoto Bank to now call to CSD and say, our pension clients have said that we should do this. So the banks it's not the bank's opinion. It's the person who put the money there's opinion. So the key point is, this announcement that's been made this afternoon or this morning, is it an affirmative IMF will give us the money or IMF will not?
Well, let me help you with the IMF's press release from December 12th. And it says that
yesterday.
Yes, IMF reaches staff level agreement on 3 billion 3 years extended credit facility with Ghana.
Oh, can you repeat that again?
IMF reaches staff level agreement on a $3 billion 3 years extended credit facility with Ghana. Let me just read it for you.
Nice one.
Okay. It says, point 1, IMF staff and the Ghanaian authorities have reached staff-level agreement on economic policies and reforms to be supported by a new 3-year arrangement under the extended credit facility of about $3 billion. 2, the authorities' strong reform program aims at restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability while protecting the vulnerable, preserving financial stability, and laying the foundation for strong and inclusive recovery. To support the objective of restoring public debt sustainability, the authorities have launched a comprehensive debt operation. In addition to a front-loaded fiscal consolidation and measures to reduce inflation and rebuild external buffers, the program envisages wide-ranging reforms to address structural weaknesses and enhance resilience to shocks. And then there are a few quotes in there that I'll read, or you want me to read everything?
Go on.
Okay, so it says that at the end of the mission, Mr. Rude, that's Mr. Stefan Rude, who is mission chief for Ghana, issued the following statement. Quote, I am pleased to announce that the IMF team reached staff-level agreement with the Ghanaian authorities on a 3-year program supported by an arrangement under the extended credit facility in the amount of 2.4 billion SDR, or about $3 billion US. The economic program aims to restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability while laying the foundation for stronger and more inclusive growth. The staff-level arrangement is subject to IMF management and executive board approval and receipt of the necessary financing assurances by Ghana's partners and creditors. Quote, the Ghanaian authorities have committed to a wide-ranging economic reform program which builds on the government's post-COVID-19 program for economic growth and tackles the deep challenges facing the country. Key reforms to ensure the sustainability of public finances while protecting the vulnerable. The fiscal strategy relies on front-loaded measures to increase domestic resource mobilization and streamline expenditure. In addition, the authorities have committed to strengthening social safety nets, including reinforcing the existing targeted cash transfer program for vulnerable households and improving the coverage and efficiency of social spending. Structural reforms will be introduced to underpin the fiscal strategy and ensure a durable consolidation. These include developing a medium-term plan to generate additional revenue and advancing reforms to bolster tax compliance. This will help create space for growth, enhancing measures, and social spending. Efforts will also be made to strengthen public expenditure commitment controls, improve fiscal transparency, including the reporting and monitoring of arrears, improve the management of public enterprises, and tackle structural challenges in the energy and cocoa sectors. The authorities are also committed to further bolstering governance and accountability. To support the objective of restoring public debt sustainability, the authorities have announced a comprehensive debt restructuring. Sufficient assurances and progress on this front will be needed before the proposed fund-supported program can be presented to the IMF Executive Board
Can you
for
repeat this
approval.
paragraph, the last two, the thing you just read?
To support the objective of restoring public debt sustainability, the authorities have announced a comprehensive debt restructuring. Sufficient assurances and progress on this front will be needed before the proposed fund-supported program can be presented to the IMF Executive Board for approval.
So the staff have agreed to the facility on condition that this debt restructuring works. So it becomes a condition precedent for which the board will then approve.
Yes. Now let me finish this. Reducing inflation, enhancing resilience to external shocks, and improving market confidence are also important program priorities. Accordingly, the Bank of Ghana will continue to strengthen its monetary policy framework and promote exchange rate flexibility to rebuild external buffers. As part of the authorities' debt strategy, a domestic debt exchange has been launched. The authorities are committed to taking the necessary mitigation measures to ensure financial sector stability is preserved. Then goes on to thank.
But does it say
everybody.
anything about a foreign?
No, it does not.
That's my problem. So are they saying that because they describe the debt restructuring as comprehensive, but what was announced was a domestic one? What about the foreign debts? Are they saying that they're not going to do? We're not going to do anything about that?
It could well be.
I don't want to speculate. So maybe I need to get the press release of the original debt exchange announcement, because there was a hint that they were going to do something similar for
There
foreign
was an
debts.
announcement earlier that subsequently there will be a discussion or an announcement in relation to the foreign debt.
Okay.
That
But the
has
IMF
been
doesn't mention that in its statement.
Yeah. So that's
Godfrey, the part that you read on the board approval, where they said we've launched a comprehensive debt, did they say anything about foreign debt?
No, it's not mentioned.
Wow.
So let's wait and hear what they have to say today. I'm sure we'll be able to ask questions on this meeting.
Yeah, so that's why I said the two quick things to just end this part. The first thing is that this has been achieved in record time, because typically from the time a president requests for an IMF program, he did it in July, to the date of announcement, sometimes takes years. It can take a year. So to be able to move from July to December, in fact, when this was announced and we interviewed Setekwe and Co, they said this thing, it takes long. So I suspect the IMF as an organization decided to move quickly with this because of the way they assess the overall situation. Now, where God gave me the hint of this was that when we went to that meeting they went to in Washington, when you listen to the IMF managing director, she basically said that, Ghana is having problems because of COVID-19 and Russia and things, so Ghana needs to be helped. And I think that statement she made possibly gave an indication to staff that, Charlie, politically, organization wants to support Ghana, so we have to move fast. Because in some cases, it takes very long. Right? So for the managing director of IMF to come out to endorse the claim that this was really a COVID and Russia, they call it external shocks. All right? So I'm saying that politically, the IMF felt that they needed to do something quickly on Ghana. And I feel some of that is because, and Godfrey, you were saying this in the morning. If you look at, for example, this morning, the president is in Washington, second US-Africa summit. Now, we cannot discuss the Ghana IMF program without looking at the context of West Africa, where this is the second US-Africa summit. in fact, Europe has sort of been pushed back from their influence in the sub-region. Trump's policy of make America first sort of sent a signal about their engagement in some of the areas. We've seen the Sahel almost disintegrate on a security level. We've seen instability within the sub-region, even up to Burkina Faso. So I feel, and this is just my analysis, the decision to fast-track Ghana's IMF program, they were, as you usually say in law, all things considered. They didn't just want to consider the economics. They also want to look at the geopolitics and the areas. Because, for example, if you listen to some of the people who've taken over power in Mali, Guinea, and Co, if you listen to their rhetoric, it's very anti-Europe and very anti-France, very anti-Western. So I have the sense that there is a certain global interest in making sure that the Ghana economic issues are resolved quickly. because Ghana is still considered some haven of democratic something.
Bernard, you see, that
I'm explaining something. Just
that is just the point.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm saying that. So the reason this IMF program was agreed this quickly could be not just because we got all our numbers right necessarily, but because from the highest level of the IMF, and don't forget, IMF is not an organization that's independent of the countries that are part of it. Right? So when you say IMF, you're actually talking about US, Europe. All right? So I'm saying we got this program, or we will get this program if we do the conditions they stated there, because they considered not just the numbers.
That's true.
It's a decision that has been taken looking at the sub-region, looking at the possibility of what bankruptcy and instability can do for the whole sub-region. And I feel that's part of the reason why we got it this quickly.
You see, that's basically the point. The reason is to protect the sheep of democracy, which Ghana has been found to be, in the strict sense of the word. Ghana has been advertised to the rest of Africa, to the rest of, countries that are still facing rebellious insurrections from people from within and without, as the model of democracy. That when you get democracy right, what development will follow. I was at an international conference recently where some of these issues came up as to how we should institutionalize democracy within the Sahel and, of course, West Africa, for instance, because increasingly you're having all kinds of radicals penetrate the system and are creating instability. And if you listen to some of the rhetorics that these guys throw up, in Guinea, what was the reason? In Burkina Faso, what was the reason? In Chad, what's the reason? It seems that Western authorities are really concerned about the narrative and the fact that there have been discussions about possible riots in the streets, people angry over food prices, people angry over gas prices. In some of these sessions, these things were said bare. So when you hear discussions like that, the Western authorities think that if we do not move in and we have the experiences of Sri Lanka, we might be in serious trouble. And that would not send good signals to other countries.
And I want to say that this is not based on altruism. I think, they've caused a lot of problems in different parts of the world, but I feel they know that stability in West Africa is very important to some of their interests. Okay? So I need to emphasize that so we know that we have to solve our own problems. The solution of the IMF is a palliative. It's like you put a plaster on a sore. It's not going to solve it in the long term. So IMF is not going to solve our problems. It's going to give us some relief. What we do after IMF is more critical. That we don't get here anymore. And I need to emphasize that point very strongly. So it's not because Ghana is like some darling of any country. We have let ourselves down countless times. And let's see that as an opportunity to fix some of those long-term problems. I need to make a quick correction also. The bonds is 2027. 29, 32, 37. So they are exchanging, they will pay your first interest in 2027, not 25. So in 5 years' time, before you get your
first interest.
Yes. And then finally, what I'm saying is that this Maxwell story on the front page of the graphic business, it is possible that this may even not do well. In fact, I can with a certain level of reasonability say that even if they get only 50% uptake for this, I think the board will still approve. Because the language of what Godfred read, because why would you look? Graphics says nobody has taken the debt exchange yet. Yet they are saying that staff has agreed, and the major precondition was debt sustainability. And the main solution to debt sustainability is this. Nobody has taken it up yet you're announcing the program, which means that it's almost like your boss has told you that, Charlie, you have to employ this guy. So even though you've interviewed the guy with Ishan, you say, Charlie, Papa said for employ the guy, so you will employ him and make him work. So we'll find a way of making sure the guy is good enough. That's what's happening. And I'm saying that should not make us feel happy and complacent.
They shouldn't come and even say...
Because it also means that if we don't fix the structural things we have to do, we may be in a worse position by the end of the decade. All right? So people should start getting interested in decisions this government takes and take part in the advocacy. Okay? So for me, it's good news because at least We've seen the cedi already in the past 1 week appreciating. The market believes that with an IMF program, things will get better. But how good it gets depends on what we do collectively as a society. So we shouldn't go back to our old bad habits and then get into a bigger ditch, because this problem that has been created. How old are you? You are 40, eh? 2037, do you know how old you'll be? Add 15 years to your age. You won't even have energy to play football. You are old man. Your child who is in fact, some of your kids will be in university, some of them will be working in the bank, and yet we still haven't paid your money back. And some of the debts we owe. It's a serious, we should never get into this. I think we should have a national convention and say never again will we get into this kind of situation.
And Bernard, on this note, let me sound a word of caution to those who serve in our parliament. Look, for far too long, our MPs have historically been they have been bad at their job in terms of policing the public purse. Your job as a parliamentarian, as stipulated in the Constitution, is what? Ensure value for money at all times. Your job is to protect the public purse. If the finance minister decides to go for a loan outside this country, he necessarily requires your input as a member of parliament to secure that loan. If you say, honorable member of parliament, you are taking too much loans and we are not seeing what you are doing with it, you can block it. Yes. You vote it down, the minister will not take a kobo.
Can't do anything.
If he comes with a grandiose plan, I want to build
you can cut it.
You can cut it. You are not doing it. So no member of parliament should sit down and be happy that we are in this situation because a certain finance minister acted irresponsibly. You as a member of parliament played your part.
Yes, sir.
Because on all these occasions that loans were taking, Eurobonds, all these things that they were taking, the Constitution requires that you approve it.
Yes, sir.
And you approved it.
Yes, please.
The question is, when you were approving, what were you thinking? Were you sleeping? Did somebody hold a gun to your head?
No.
So if we are here, it is because you failed the good people of Ghana. Going forward, people,
MPs,
honorable members of parliament, there's a role you must play. You watch in other democracies, they're asking questions.
When you appear before a parliamentary committee,
look, you run away. If you are not ready, you go back. They will tell you go back.
You come prepared.
Come back prepared. Yes. The quality of questions, the research that has been done, they know how much you expended.
Not to cut you, but Parliament also needs to be helped.
But that's true.
Because you know that, and you have done Parliament for almost 17 years, the quality of people getting to Parliament has reduced.
Yeah, that's true.
So to support the institution, we need something they call an independent budget office.
Yeah, which they are working
to help to beef up their rigor. Because, Kokwi, what qualifies you to be an MP? I'm a journalist. I may be popular. I can go and win elections. But look, do you know how long it takes me to even read this budget? So imagine, you get a budget and you go and sit in finance committee. You don't have what it takes to grasp it just because you represent people in Adenta. So you need some level of institutional support, because these MPs you see in the UK and things that are speaking eloquent, it's not as if they are so smart. There's an organization around them that equips them. Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying, but I think we should also move advocates and say, okay, let's give our parliament the institutional support so it can be effective in executing its mandate. Yeah. So if they can do value analysis, which is objective, and they can give them the bullet points, and when they go, they can then question the minister properly. Okay. Otherwise, they can't do their work.
I agree with you, except to add that, you see, yes, we'll go shortly. You see, we have given them research assistance. You see, I agree perfectly with Bernard. It is the way to go. Unfortunately, some of these research assistants, what have they reduced them to? Go and buy this thing, Bobo, for me. Go and do this.
No, research assistants are not the same as office of... We are talking about...
I go to parliament...
But what we are asking for as a budget of is not research assistance.
No, I understand. I am saying that in terms of institutional support and capacity...
He's saying the MPs...
The call previously when I was there, that give them research assistance. When the budget is read, these people should be able to summarize it to, say, 2 pages or even 1 page. Yeah. Your area of interest.
What's the quality of the research assistant they even get?
These are master's holders from our universities and elsewhere. Okay. In most cases. What I'm saying is that when they give you research assistant, the job of the... Why do you do that? Don't do that because the state is paying. Let them concentrate on why they are there.
We hear you.
Thank you for your.
But now they have offices. First they didn't have offices.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we've got more for you. Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
They came from the north, south, east, and west to converge at the center of the world, Ghana, to witness the most exciting Ghanaian cultural event in December. It's happening again. Taste of Ghana 3.0. 2 days of thrilling art, authentic sounds and rhythms of Ghanaian traditional music and dance, a range of delicious Ghanaian cuisine, and a rich fusion of Ghanaian culture and tradition. Join us on the 23rd and 24th of December at the Independence Square from noon each day as we enjoy from top Ghanaian artists and everything that celebrates our heritage and uniqueness as Africans. Taste of Ghana 3.0. To participate, visit tasteofghana.org to book a ticket now. To sponsor or exhibit at the event, kindly call 0244-855-406 or 024-362-2034. You can also follow GIPC Ghana on all social media platforms for more updates. Let's rep GH and celebrate our culture in grand style. Taste of Ghana 3.0. This event is brought to you by GIPC in partnership with Ghana Tourism Authority and supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Information, Ghana Export Promotions Authority, Ministry of Finance, and the Diaspora Affairs Desk at the Office of the President.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country? The most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food. Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, dazzled by the sounds of Abiana and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. And jam to the hits from the big nation president himself, Storm Boy. We're changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date, Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time, 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. Get your platinum, diamond, gold, and silver table bookings and seats by calling the hotlines 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. The Situation Outdoor Party is sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series, Doritos, Lace, Logistics Movers, and Veuve du Vernet France. It's supported by City FM and Ghana Weekend and powered by City TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from latex foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex foam, your partner for life. Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Welcome back. There's still the Citi Breakfast Show. You can send your messages on 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. We'll get back to the main conversation, but let's digress a bit. Let's talk about other things that are equally important. Let's talk about insurance. We've been joined by Teria Ben Ahmed. Teria Ben Ahmed is MD CEO of Sanlam Life Insurance Ghana. They had to tell us all kinds of amazing things. Koku it's great. You know, insurance companies are very interesting. In the last few months, we've had a couple of them, and it's one topic that always gets people very interested. So if you have a car, you definitely need insurance. If you have a house, you need insurance. If you have that, you need insurance.
If you have life,
you need insurance. So yeah, it's interesting. Teria Ben Ahmed, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and good morning, Nathan and Kokui, for having me this morning. I'm quite excited to be on your platform this morning.
Great to have you as well.
Okay, let's talk about the rebrand. I think that's where we can start from. It lays the great basis. When did the rebrand happen, and how come it? I don't know whether I caught some people on the blind side, whatever, but just tell us about the rebrand and what it means, and then we can start the conversation.
No, rebranding was massive. It happened on 26th of July this year, and we rebranded to Sanlam. But before I deal with that, let me appreciate the great programs you ran. And this morning I have enjoyed your conversation on tourism and then the staff level agreement that has been reached and insightful discussions that you're having on your program. And I think you're doing a great job. About 10 years ago, my office used to be in the same enclave as your office. And so I can tell how you have transformed, since I last came here. And so you're doing such a great job. And so please continue to do the great job you're doing. So back to the rebranding of our business. We rebranded to Sanlam on 26th of July this year. And you know, this year is a year that we faced a lot of economic challenges. So our rebranding to Sanlam was a vote of confidence by Sanlam in the Ghanaian economy and believing that the future of Ghana is bright. And so when we rebranded, we joined the Sanlam Group. We became a member of the Sanlam Group. That meant that we have an opportunity to leverage on the strength, the capacity, the exposure of the Sanlam Group to serve our customers better in the Ghana market. And as you may know, Sanlam is the biggest insurance group on the African continent. Sanlam has presence in 33 countries in Africa. Sanlam has been in the business of insurance for over 100 years with thousands of experts to support and provide the services. So it was an exciting day for us on 26th of July when we rebranded to Sanlam to officially communicate our business becoming a member of the Sanlam Group. But what does this actually mean? And I recall when we rebranded to Sanlam, there were a number of questions that came through, and it was like, okay, you've rebranded to Sanlam, and what? I believe you. You're going to ask me that shortly. And then we said, well, give us a little time, because what we do as Sanlam, as far as operating model is concerned, is that we take our time to appreciate the needs of our customer segments, and then come up with solutions that are relevant to the needs, because we believe a product must be a solution to challenges or problems. And therefore, we needed to take our time to listen to our clients and then to fashion solutions that will meet the needs of our customers. And so thankfully, on 24th of November, we then decided to begin to respond or give the solution our customers told us they wanted. And so we launched a product on 24th of November. And thankfully, you covered the program so nicely, you had it on your station. And so what informed this product is what we're here to talk about this morning. And I'll give you a few of the feedback we got from that insightful market research that we've done. Our customers started to tell us that, one, why do you pay us the same amount after 5 years? If we take an insurance policy, for instance, if my cover amount is, say, 10,000, 5 years, 10 years down the line, if I came back to you and I have a claim, you pay me 10,000, which I signed on 5 years or 10 years ago. But if you look at the inflation environment in Ghana today, 5,000, 10,000, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, inflation last year, same time, and inflation this year alone is so the value of the benefit you pay us may not be able to finance the goods and services that we took the insurance cover to cover. So how do you deal with that? That was a very, very, very important feedback we got. And so how are we going to ensure that we index your benefits to inflation of a sort to restore the value to be able to do what it has to do for you? That's one feedback that we got. Then another feedback we got was that in Ghana today, if a family member is called to eternal rest, the costs of moving the body from where it happened to the morgue And then from the morgue to the burial grounds where the person will be prepared or the body will be prepared, and then eventually to the cemetery itself is a huge cost, but you don't provide anything under your existing product to cover this. By the time we cover these expenses, what is left is unable to do anything else. Then a customer give us feedback, which was quite intriguing. He said, so when you have financed all the expenses associated with my funeral, when you come to the funeral grounds, do you sometimes see my children? Or would you see children of deceased people and their family members who dependent on them? So what are you going to do in order to support such? Our response was, but this is more like a funeral product. So, I mean, what have we got to do with supporting your family after? But we needed to take that feedback and go back to Sanlam actuaries to ask and to see what can be done. I'm happy to tell you that we have a solution to this. So what we are talking about, and the product I'll mention to you shortly, is not just financing funeral expenses, but we go beyond that to support the surviving family that you leave behind. And then we also got a feedback that says, look, if you take a typical funeral insurance policy in this country and you are age 35 years old, you are likely to be asked to pay premiums for 25 years till you go on retirement. And the question was, I mean, it's like a lifetime commitment. Why should I be paying premiums throughout my lifetime? Can't I pay for a number of years? After that, I don't pay again, but the cover continues for the rest of my life. Typically, an insurer will say, no premium, no cover. If you don't pay premium, how can we grant you cover?
That's how you make money.
We had to go to Sanlam actuaries and ask them whether it was possible actually for a policyholder to pay premiums for a certain number of years and cease premium payment, but for the cover to continue on his life and the lives of all those he or she has covered for life. Guess what? It's answered under this product that I'm talking to you about. There is also some feedback we got that says, typically, you know, when you take an insurance policy and nothing has happened, the feeling is that you are just making money for the insurer. And the typical funeral or risk policies in the life insurance sector in Ghana, there is a benefit that says cashback. In other words, we will tell you that if no claim is made, then a certain percentage of your benefit will be refunded to you. I mean, a certain percentage of premiums will be refunded to you. Then a customer asks us, but why should you refund only when I make no claim? What if I make a claim? I still want a portion of my premium back. Can you do that? It was a very big question. I mean, we paid part of, you've made a claim, we've paid you. And you know, the relationship between claim and premiums are such wide, as you know. So if you have paid you claim, we thought that there shouldn't be an expectation of
anything more beyond
more.
that. Yeah.
But we took that feedback. And then I can tell you that this product I'm going to talk to you about will honor your claims, but every 3 years will give you 10% of the premiums that you have paid. You get cash back whether or not you make a claim. One interesting part, and this was very, very insightful in terms of the feedback that we got from the market research we did, which some of the customers told us that, look, why do you, as it were, insurance companies, force us, more or less, to take cover for ourselves before we can extend to our family members? So I have a mother, I have in-laws, I have aunties, grandparents, and what have you. I want to be able to be empowered to show love to them and to care for them when it matters the most. But you seem to be telling me that I cannot do so unless I cover myself first before I can extend to the others.
Okay, so you've given us a really good overview of kind of the feedback you got from your customers. Now tell us, what's this product called and why should people sign up for it?
Awesome. So this product is called Family Love. And there are 3 packages under this Family Love product.
Okay.
And the first is called Inclusive Love. The second is called Classic Love.
Okay.
And the third, which is the final one, is called Prestige Love.
I see.
Now, the way we've organized this product, this Family Love product, is that it's not like comes with options, choose this and we can add that or that. But any package you select, the benefit you have under it are all yours. So when you choose Inclusive, you have all the benefit that you have under Inclusive for you. When you choose Classic, you get all the benefit that you get under it. And when you choose Prestige, then you get the benefit. But what are these benefits, obviously? Now, first of all, what we will say is that the benefits have been structured to answer the feedback from our customers.
Okay.
So first of all, we say that if you take the Classic, from Classic to Prestige, when you take that package, we will first of all give you 10% of the cover amount you selected to cover what we call repatriation within the country, the body to the morgue and then to the burial ground. So 10% of that. Then second, we'll give you 30% of the cover amount you selected. So if you selected 10,000, you can begin to do the numbers. 1,000 for the repatriation, if you like, the transportation of the body, and then 30% for the celebration of the 1 week.
Okay.
30%, and that's 3,000 if you chose 10,000. then guess what? We'll give you 100% of the cover amount you selected for the main funeral itself.
Okay.
I see.
If you selected Prestige, we will give you 50% of the cover amount you selected for 1 year anniversary. Every 3 years, we give you 10% of the premiums you have paid back, whether or not you made a claim within the 3-year period. And the interesting part of it is that we support your surviving family with monthly income for a period of 6 months after we have financed the funeral expenses. And that is an amount of 500 Ghana cedis every month for 6 months. But let me tell you about how we have addressed the value of the benefit we pay. So under this product, we have provided for what we call mandatory escalation of your benefits linked to an increase in your premiums.
Okay.
So we've embedded in the plan a 10% increase in your premiums every year for a corresponding 7.5% increase in your cover amounts and benefits. Now, and then have added options to if you want to increase it. So that's basic. At the basic level, year after year, your benefits are increasing by 7.5%. What means is that the family income of 500 Ghana cedis will be increasing because it is the base at that level. And then beyond that, again, I think what is also very important about this product is that we don't force you to take the policy before you can extend to your family members.
You can cover your parents.
You can decide.
Because for a lot of people, it's a major.
That is why we are addressing this. Because when we rebranded to Sanlam, we said we don't believe in restrictions to access to insurance, and that our purpose is to empower generations to be financially confident, secure, and prosperous. And therefore, if you are bringing the first solution after our rebranding, it must seek to address the feedback we got from our customers. So, Koku, you can take this policy and cover that your uncle, that's your grandparent, that's your in-law, without covering yourself. All you have to do is to pay the premiums. But at what age of these uncles and grandparents can you insure? Exactly. So if your uncle is 70 years, you can do it. 75, you can do it.
Wow.
80, you can do it. 85, you can do it.
Really?
Yes.
100.
Up to 85.
Okay.
So if your uncle is
that's
80
impressive.
years,
Yeah.
and it cuts both ways. And what I mean is that you can decide to take the policy on the life of your uncle.
Okay.
You become the premium payer, name yourself as a beneficiary under the policy.
Wow.
When the unfortunate eventuality happens, the benefit get paid to you and you show love to your family.
I see. Okay.
You understand? And then your uncle too at 80, 85, 70 can decide to take the policy him or herself.
So it's very flexible. It looks like you've really taken on board the feedback from your. Okay, so people are very, very skeptical now. You know what's happening in the economy, the financial industry. Can people have faith and trust in Sanlam that the claims that that are owed, in the event, the unfortunate event, something happens, will be paid, and that the service will be good? Everything that is expected from the investment in this policy will come.
For me to be on your platform this morning and be confident enough to tell you about the product we've launched in these difficult times itself is to give you a view of how we are prepared to support our promises and to deliver what we have said we're going to do. And like I said before, Sanlam is the biggest insurance group on the African continent. It has presence in over 33 countries in Africa. Okay, and we've been in existence for over 100 years. We have thousands of experts. We are number one in most markets, South Africa, and the rest.
So your track record is...
it's established. And so if you have an insurance company like Sanlam to join their products with a commitment that says we enable you to live with confidence, you can really trust us that we'll be there. And I can tell you what, this product I'm telling you about, we got regulatory approval in September. We said we aren't going to go to market with this product until the system to support the customer journey under this product is ready, tested, and our teams have been trained. As I speak to you now, my team, Kingsley and Francis, they are in Takrady doing activations and engaging the team there. So on 24th of November is when we launched. And we did not just launch the product. We also launched a robust world-class system that will drive the customer journey, where our teams, the processes of onboarding have been digitized. So Nathan, I can sign you on today, right now, as we sit here, and you can buy the policy for this uncle, and Sanlam will be there to provide you the support you need.
Great. So if people want to reach you, get more info, figure out what it is they would specifically want to suit their own situation, how can they get in touch?
You can reach us over phone 0544108353. You can also send us an email at care@gh.sanlam.com. You can go to our website www.gh.ghana.sanlam.com. You can go reach us on all our social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Sanlam Ghana.
Okay. Can I just run the phone number by us once again?
0544 108 353.
Okay, so that's the number.
That's the
people
number.
can call.
And send us a mail on care@gh.sanlam.com. But look for Sanlam Ghana on all our social media handles: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the rest. You find us.
Wonderful. Great. Wonderful. Great. It's been fun talking to you. Terry Ben Ahmed is MD CEO of Sanlam Life Insurance. They've brought out their latest policy after the rebrand. They call it the Family Love product. So call them on 0544 108 353. Get more info, sign up, and enjoy your insurance journey. Thank you so much, Terry, for coming, and all the best, and all the best as you roll out the product.
Thank you very much, Nathan.
Great. Have a great day.
Sure. Same to you.
So listen to the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a very quick break, but before that, the World Cup season is still on. There are semi-final games to be played today, tomorrow. Don't just watch, cheer, and not get anything. Play the games and win a Peugeot Landtrek pickup, courtesy Silver Star Auto. Subscribe to Ghana Win 2022. Visit graphicwin2022.com. Read the questions, answer them to score points. The 5 highest daily winners, 3 highest weekly winners, 2 highest monthly winners will all get rewarded, and the overall winner will get the Peugeot Landtrek pickup from Silver Star Auto. The promo is being sanctioned by the Gaming Commission, and all proceeds will be donated to a charitable cause. Peugeot from Silver Star Auto. Now, the Millennium Development Authority, in partnership with the Ghana Cares for Batampa program and the Ministry of Finance, has rolled out the Economic Enclave project site near Suchari on the Enclave Falls under the 100 billion cedi Ghana Cares for Batampa program to create jobs and revive the economy. Now, the project will focus on providing support for the cultivation of up to 110,000 acres of land across the country to expand our productive capacity of rice, tomato, maize, vegetables, and poultry. So that's what's going on. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Great news! This season, Sandon received money across Africa at exciting rates using AfriCash from UBA. Yes, enjoy a fixed fee of 25 Ghana cedis when you send up to 1,000 Ghana cedis across Africa, or send more at equally affordable charges. TNC apply. We've surely got you covered this season with the best rates. AfriCash, fast and secure means of transferring money across Africa. UBA, Africa's global bank.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xBet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Man, I've just been busy these last few weeks. My company has asked me to attend this conference in Canada, scheduled for December of 2022. I submitted my application in March, but I've still not heard back from the immigration office. I don't know where to start. Time is ticking. If only there was someone to check in on my business visa status on my behalf.
If you retain our services at Askia Immigration Consulting Services, we can follow up to ensure the status and quick delivery of your visa application. No matter how busy you are, you can count on Askia Immigration Consulting Services. Contact Askia Immigration Services on 0241 318890 or 0595 449054 to book appointments and to get assessment of documents. Askia Immigration Services on the 8th floor of the number 1 Airport Square building, Airport City.
I'll take you there.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Come back.
I dream, quanti. This is be no man, nada. I fade ye, Makuma na hope ye, man. I Julius you, quanti. My brandy order semia, my brandy order semia. So somebody, Besamajiwo. I don't care number of times you've broken my heart, baby. I can never give you up. I love you so, I love you so much more. So somebody, but yeah, what you didn't feel, I know I'm out, I will deny the truth and believe in a lie. So sorry, Chibankoadia. Massage you. So sorry, Chibankoadia. Massage you. Yeah. I could have jumped into the ocean just for you, yeah. I could take a shower in your sweat if I could. Nansu, wa mama from waye basa, what did you want? Now you're Bobby Demia. Ah, a drone to me damina. Who is you? Never miss me. So somebody, that's how you. I won't care number of times you will break my heart, baby. I can never give you up. I love you so, I love you so much more. So somebody.
9:55. Welcome back. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Sounds of Aquabwa. What's this one? Messaggio. You'll be hearing these songs, or this song and a whole lot more on December 24.
At
the situation outdoor party.
All roads lead to La Palm Royale.
I tell you. Don't say we didn't tell you. Don't say you didn't know. You didn't hear of it. And then you'll be disturbing our phones 24th. I want a table. Call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973. We need to wrap up the year in style. Yes. Join us as we have mad fun at the Situation Outdoor Party 2022 edition. So like I said, Akwaba will be there, Abiana will be there, Praya will be there, then Chichim Band will be there, and Stoneboy will be there. Okay? Should be a night of great music.
It'll be a beautiful night.
Great fun. Just call them and get your table, because once you book your table, depending on the table, you have all kinds of things to enjoy. Great drinks, cocktails, grills for some, full buffets for others, depending on what's going on. So just call 0205 973 973, 0558 973 973, and come around and let's have fun. It's been a long, tough year.
Charlie.
You need to just end it on a wild note.
Yes. And there's something for everyone. I mean, when you look at the range of performers, there's the person who will get you up out of your seat dancing. There's the crooner who will get you relaxing in your wonderful booth, your section with your friends. So everyone will have a great time, situation.
You've got the Chinchin Band. They will give you different kinds of songs, different vibes. There's Prayer,
Daviana as well.
Daviana, I mean, great. So look, just call 0205 973 973, 0558 973 973. It's an all white affair, so just get your white, whether it's white dress, white gown, white robe,
white trousers,
and whatever, white tee, white shorts, whatever it is, just show up in white. Call 0205 973 973. Book those tables, because the tables are going. I know people who have sent me messages and said, "Oh, Chief, I've booked my table already." Somebody said to me that he and his boys have pulled their money. They are ready to. I told them just call the number.
And it's money well spent. Trust us. Like anyone who has been to Situation before will tell, it's money well spent. Yes. Everything is covered. Once you've paid your money, you walk in like a G. In fact, that night everyone's a VIP. Do you understand? with just depending on what the table you book, whether it's platinum, gold, or silver, you come in and have a beautiful experience. Honestly, no stress.
No stress at all. It's happening at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. So great venue, outdoor space, lovely stuff. And remember that it's sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Series, Doritos, and Lay's, supported by Citi FM and Ghana Weekend, powered by Citi TV, and this is a Beyond the Return event. That's our CBS for the morning. Tuesday, December 13th. My name is Nathan Quao. I did this with Kokui, with Godfred, with Richard and Bernard. Many thanks for all your messages that came in on 0549986996. Which was proudly produced by Fred Jabano. And Godfred Odum gave us help on technical. Coming up next is the news at 10 with Hawa Idrisu. I remember the IMF and the Ministry of Finance will be announcing the staff level agreement in a bit. So just stay tuned for that one as well. All right, let's get into the news at 10 a.m. Hawa Idrisu is here. She's got all the latest.
Good morning, Nathan. In the news, the High Court has reconsidered its decision not to accept a 90 million